Get your 2 cent spread strategy shit together. What the hell, man? I know where the echo is coming from. It's coming from when Money Green has his on and I have mine on at the same time. For some reason, it's like a little echo in there. But that's the criteria for today, man. That's the criteria for today, man. You hear me? If you're not, oh no, it's cool. Me and Money Green was talking. So it's just that when me and him talk for some reason at the same time, it's a little echoey in there. All's well. We're good now, bro. I could just hear myself echoing back on your theme for some reason.
You still hear it, bro?
Yeah, see, it's right there. I can hear myself back. That's weird.
Let me make some more adjustments. Thanks, bro.
Nah, that's pretty weird. Nah, you good. That's weird as hell. I lost my train of thought. Let me get it together. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. That's what's up. That's mighty. That's mighty. That Happy Father's Day on the YouTube thing. That's mighty. You were just saying how we about to fuck shit up. That's where you left off. Oh no, don't worry about that. We gonna have plenty of time to fuck it up. Plenty of time. Nah, I never heard that shit mute. Echo like that. Cause I got two little different platforms right here, and if I use one, that's how I. For some reason, when I use this Sahab, y'all can't hear me. Can y'all hear me? Which is my laptop. Yeah, y'all can't hear me on this laptop. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. So I can get off this raggedy ass thing. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm not from the South. I'm from Phoenix, man. Believe it or not. A lot of people think I'm from the Midwest, but I am not. I am from Phoenix. It's a little plain, little regular place. All right. No, I had some criteria, man. Let me look at this criteria because riding winners and cutting losers is like it's so basic, right? I'm gonna start asking some of these gurus for some of their tweets, and I gotta be a little careful because I was a little bit over the extreme. Some of my other little episodes there, I was kind of doing a little bit much. I understand. All right, okay, fine. Oh, Marquise, you from Tucson? Where are you in Tucson right now? Yeah, the heat right here is not a lot of fun. It's kind of creepy. It's like kind of awkward. It's not a lot of fun. It's not. I wouldn't. It's not. You know. No, I'm just getting situated, y'all. Y'all give me a little quick second to get situated here. Uh, Yeah, man, I don't fuck around with that heat, though. I'm being honest. I be running from it. Monsoon's here though, so that heat's starting to fade a little bit. Heat's starting to fade a little bit. That monsoon here. It's me or it's his voice? Yeah, my voice is probably cutting in and out. It probably is on this Discord thing. I'm doing my show, bro. What's up? Oh damn, nigga, I forgot about that shit, bro. I'll go in a little bit. Yeah, man. It was a really good week, man. Really good week.
Well, something wrong?
Huh?
Something or
Is something wrong? No, ain't nothing.
no, you said it wasn't really a good week or something.
No, I said it was I said it was a great week. It was a great week. I'm just trying to pick up where I left off. It was a great week. Nah, we're finna get down to some criteria. Just let me get some of this paperwork ready. I got some notes and stuff here. But yeah, how do you guys do? I'm not necessarily a full time options type of guy, but man, I mean, what's been happening with only what I like about options is as it fits. It's because it fits my trend following procedure technique, so to speak. Because it's just options is kind of like you're just buying an option, saying that prices should be here or won't be at a certain place at a certain time, and that's basically all I'm doing. Is just I've been doing my whole trend following trading career is just following prices to where I think they might go, and that's basically what options is just kind of basing like an opinion on where you think prices may go. But what I like about options is that it's like it's actually like when it comes to risk management, it's easier because because whatever you're buying your option at, that's kind of like where your risk is capped at, so to speak. So it's no trickery in the risk there. It's like your risk is whatever the option is. That's what your risk is. It's like it's not like others. It's not like trading stocks. Like you have to actually manage your risk because you actually have to put your stops in. Like you actually have to manage your risk because you could buy a stock and it can go to at 100. You could buy it at 100 and it can go to zero, and you can blow your whole account. But you can buy an option at 12, and the only thing you can lose is that 12. I mean, don't get me wrong. The option, the price of the option, the value of it can go up, and then you not take the value from it, and then it go back down. That's different. I'm talking about the actual risk that you're buying. I'm talking about the actual risk that you're buying the option for. I mean, that's the risk right there. Is what you're buying the option for. So if you can manage if so with me it's like I'll show you guys right now. I'll show you right now because I actually and I'm gonna put this on my show coming up. I'm gonna put this on my show when I make my show for this weekend. I got some option stuff coming up. I got some option stuff coming up this weekend. So here we go. Let me just that right there just correlates to my point that I was talking about managed risk. I mean like capped risk. Like your risk is already capped. It's like you can buy an option. I bought that option for 0.05. I can't lose no more than 0.05 on that option. All right, so your risk is already. I mean, you can lose all of that. Don't get me wrong, but your risk is already. And I got that from Boss. Actually, shout to Boss. Thank you for accepting my request today, bro. Because I sent you a request too, and that in this stock talk lineup because I wanted to uh have your some input. We can dibble and dabble on some options when we talk options because I know that a few guys like to talk options in here, Money Green and a few other guys. I'm still a trend follower. I still trend follow on stocks. That's like my bread and butter. But options, I mean, like I'm just explaining right now, trend following fits right into my options fits right into my process. And I know a lot of you guys were already saying that once I started trading options, it would kind of fit into my little thing that I'm doing here. But so your risk is capped already. All right, because you can buy that option for 5, and the least that's going to happen to that option, it's going to expire worthless. So you're not buying an option for 5, and then like later on down your account, like you lose like 100 on it. You know what I'm saying? Your risk is calculated right there. Now, what I like about this is that I can calculate my risk. I mean, cap my risk at 5, but my top side is unlimited. As you can see, I bought that option, and I just bought that on Friday. So I don't think it's exercised fully, and there may be some friction or some funkiness inside of that price. But if you look at those DY options, I mean the calls on it, the ones that are in the money, they're like 260, at least a dollar something. So for this one to be a little bit outside of the money, that 43 is reasonable. But uh, that risk is capped. All right, that risk is calculated already. Yeah, yeah, surely, Money Green. That risk is capped, just like the stock God's 1 cent strategy. That risk is capped, so you can't lose no more than that. But the upside, as you see right there, I already made $50 on a freaking $5 option, and I expect that option to be worth well over $100. I expect it to be worth well over 100 because it's not in the money, but it will be in the money. It will be in the money soon. Let me show you why I'm pretty sure this thing's going to be in the money. Let me see if I can type it up on this stupid thing because it always shows out. You know what? Damn that. Yeah, so the downside is capped off, and the upside you just absolutely cannot. I mean, it's uncharted. I mean, uh, you can't really put a measure on it. Like you can't really guess where it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? But you can stop the downside though. You can. It's 5. That's what it is. Well, yeah. What's up, Marquise? You from Tucson? That's what's up, man. I got a brother named Marquise that lives in Tucson. I used to live in Tucson too, Mike. Tucson's not. Anyways, that's why I like that DY option. All right, because as you see, it goes up, pulls back, goes up, pulls back. But right now, that DY is right in the middle of that going back up part. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not pulling back anymore. See, let me show you why. I can see it really good on this Robinhood screen. I can really tell really good what's going on here with this. Let me just show you guys really quick. We're starting. We're already getting warmed up. You guys kick back. We already getting warmed up. All right. Yeah. I absolutely love that, man. I love that. Yeah, so you see it. That's what I was trying to say. So upside, upside, and then that little pullback. You see the whole trend, right? It makes that upside, pulls back, and then right where that next higher high is, it makes that higher high and pulls back. All right, makes that higher high and pulls back. So now it made that higher high, pulled back. All right, and now it started its upside again. All right, and that's why I like that DY call. And I think that's why those DY calls are getting expensive, is because I think there's a lot of traders that kind of seen this pattern. Like, oh, the upside pulled back, and then now it's back to the starting its surge back to a next higher high, so to speak. If you can read that chart. That's why it's a giant pullback on that last chart I posted. Yeah, it's still underneath the 200-day moving average, but clearly it in the last month, you see those higher highs and lower lows there. That's money. I show that on my show a lot too, man. Sometimes I don't personally, I don't wait for any moving. I don't wait for Money Green. I don't wait for any moving averages to cross. Go look if anybody deals with my show a little bit. You could tell that I don't do any moving averages. I just trade the price and I just trade the higher highs and lower lows. I don't trade no MAs or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. You know, I'm not saying nothing about it. I'm just saying me personally. Oh, thank you, William. I see. Yeah, thanks, fam. Yeah, personally, I don't trade any moving averages. I just trade. You know what I'm saying? No, I actually paid. I bought those options at 50 cents times 100 contracts. So it's 100 contracts times 50 cents. So right now, those contracts, what was it, 50 cents? No, I'm sorry. 100 contracts times 5 cents. And that's why it's $5. But now those contracts are worth 48 cents. So it's 100 contracts times 48 cents. That's where the $48 came in. And I don't think that it's done yet. I honestly don't think that the upside is done yet. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying right there, Stocktalk. It hasn't hit that 200-day moving average yet, but it's damn well fit to hit it. I mean, it's basically finna like sexually touch each other, like sexually. You see how they're like merging, sexually merging right there? I'm just kidding. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you for that picture, Star. Well, yeah, 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 yeah. So basically, what I do with my options is I just do it like I would follow a trend. I say, hey, look, I think this trend is going to continue. Let me buy an option that says this trend will continue. And a lot of times, I'm like, right, I'll buy my calls outside of the money. Yeah, it pulls back and then back to new highs. Yes, sir, boss. Yeah, yeah, we made a good trade on that. But yeah, yeah, and nothing's wrong with moving average trend following because a lot of traders that I learned from only trade moving average wise. But from my research and from what I've understood so far and what I'm dealing with, is that if you wait for trends to wait to cross moving averages, you can miss out on a lot of movement just waiting for the trend to cross a moving average when I can just read the higher highs, the lower lows, and say we are approaching resistance, we're approaching this move. Yeah, that's right. I just try to anticipate, which is not good, but I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference? I mean, do you really need it? Personally, and I don't have nothing against anybody because I learned all my trend following from Larry Tintorelli, and he has a saying that says it's better to be the second person going in the right door than to be the first person going in the wrong door. It's like if there's a fucking fire and you're the first person running into the wrong door rather than the second person running through the right door where you can actually exit at, then you could fucking burn to death. You know what I'm saying? So like sort of like trading. Like if you running through that wrong door, if you're the first person in the wrong door, like you could blow your account up or you could take a very large loss when prices reverse on you or when prices don't do what you anticipated they would. But that's what stops are for. That's what taking light positions are for. That's why I take light positions when I first enter, and then when prices work in my favor, I add. Yeah, and that's a major thing too, boss. When downtrends break and they start showing reversal in prices, which is my favorite pattern, is the rounding bottom on increasing volume. That rounding bottom, I never buy it off of. Let me show you something. That rounding bottom I trade, I never buy it off of a moving average. I never buy it. I don't even trade moving averages. You guys look at all those home runs we've been hitting on my show. We never look at moving averages. I trade naked. I just trade the price. But see that TNDM? I wasn't waiting on it on any moving averages when I traded that. I just took the trade just as what it was. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just took that as what it was. Yeah, I just took that as just what it was. Yeah, but yeah, okay. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I just trade the price. And then if I get stopped out, then I get stopped out. But when I made those trades on TNDM and all those other type of winners and stuff like that, I wasn't. I don't like waiting on any moving averages, which is okay. Like I said, I learned my best trend following from Larry Tintorelli, and he only trades moving averages. You know, but I just like to trade price. I just like to trade whatever the chart shows. If and really my main thing is I just need three higher highs, 3 to 4 higher highs and lows. I just need three. I just need three consecutive higher highs and lows that say, okay, price action is actually what it says it is, and then we're on. The trade is on. You know, I'll take a buy stop. When I notice higher highs coming in, I'll say, hey, look, I'll set a buy stop, and if prices trade over this, then boom, I'll get triggered into this trade, and boom, it's on. Rock solid. I see you. I see you in here typing. What's up, bro? He's an actual option master. And thank you for last week, Rock. You came in and man and chatted it up. Feel free to come in this week and do the same thing. But yeah, anybody that's in the room, man, feel free to check my YouTube. If you guys are swing trading and options and stuff like that, I'll have some options on my. I always do like the first half of my show, and then I'll put some options on the end of it, on the backside of it. Yes, sir. Yeah, Rock's like a professional options trader. Straight professional options trader, man. For real. That's what's up. Yeah, I had a really CML. Okay, you give it to CML. I know you guys are like an outfit, which is totally legit. It's cool, man. It's cool. You can't hear anything I'm saying? Wow, that's funny. Let me see. Oh, that's my signal. Shit's going in and out. I see it. That was my signal. It goes in and out on this damn thing for some reason. Yeah, my signal goes in and out on this thing. It's cool though. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, y'all got some pizza. Is that anchovies? That looks like a. And that looks like a Ninja Turtles pizza, man. That looks like a Ninja Turtles pizza. That Ninja Turtles pizza? For real, man. Donatello and them. Some Donatello shit right there. Seen that shit on Ninja Turtles before. That same damn pizza right there. Anchovies and olives and shit, right? Right? Come on, Rock. I know, I'm just playing. I know don't nobody eat no damn anchovies except some fucking Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles are the only damn people eating some anchovies on their pizza. I mean, seriously. I ain't ever since I was a kid. When I learned, I was like, man, I ain't seen not one person eat a damn anchovy on their pizza since I've been coming up. The hell was that anchovy shit about? Oh, he's got a pistol in his corner. I didn't see it. Scary ass. Just in case them motherfuckers come through here, huh? Yeah. Just in case them motherfuckers come by here, huh? Rock. Shit. That ain't no BB gun either. Shit. I thought it was a BB gun. Looking ass.
Shit, I got one of them.
Marquise, your ass be watching, huh, bruh? You the first one that said got the strap right there in the corner. What you watching this shit, man? That ain't no damn BB gun, stock gun. Them intruders was like, I thought it was a BB gun. Till he had a big ass hole in his ass.
I literally just got back getting pizza, so I just took it off.
Oh. The intruders was like, man, you said that shit was a BB gun. Now I got a hole in my ass. Yeah, I got a little pistols around here too, man. I drive in my shit. I don't go nowhere without mine, but mine things are totally legal. Police pull you over like, hey, I got a pistol right there. There's the paperwork for it. And they're like, oh, okay. I tell the police, man, I'm black in America. I can't afford to be driving around this bitch without no gun. Are you stupid? You ain't seen that This Is America new video? The hell I look like? Thought you had a friend. Thought you had a friend. White folks gotta be having a pistol too, cause shit, motherfuckers be shooting up schools and everything. But I'm saying I'm black in America. I'll be damned if I get caught without having my shit. You better watch This Is America. That what you call it video, whatever his name is, Childish Gambino. Shit. The hell I look like? I don't say nothing unless they say, is there a gun in here? Yeah, there's a gun in the what you call it. I got two of them in here. I got a chopper in the trunk, and I got a regular hand pistol in my glove compartment. Excuse me, assault rifle to assault somebody's ass in case they try to play with me. I'm just playing. Assault somebody with an assault rifle. Nah, y'all know. We traders, man, we ain't like them weirdos out shooting up and shit. I'm pretty sure all the good traders in here, if we had enough money, we ain't no telling how many people we've been done help. It'd probably be so many sorry folks that don't deserve help. We've been and helped everybody out. People we should have just left their ass in the dust. We probably would have helped them out too. Oh, okay. The Fourth Amendment. Okay. Post what later? C94? Hold on, let me go into here. Yeah, you gotta have that license, man. I work for the city of Phoenix, so I don't do any illegal stuff. Like seriously, I'm totally legitimate. Like I don't even play around like that. Like I ain't never even been to jail, and I don't ever planning on going to jail. Like I got shit to do. I can't trade stock sitting in a fucking jail cell. You know what I'm saying? That's for bums. Straight up and down. But anyways, man. Yeah, I saw that dude, man. That shit made me mad. I wanted to go kick their ass. Them polices that did that in Mesa. I don't like Mesa. I'm from Phoenix. Everybody I know from Mesa, I'd be like, dude, y'all hella weird out there. When I see people from Mesa, I'd be like, y'all weird, dude. Like I don't like that part of Phoenix. Like weird behavior and shit. People smoking meth and stuff like that. Like I'm good. People that like little kids and like weird shit like that. Like I'm good. Like I've been and broke a child molester's legs if I even you know what I'm saying? Like I've been in violent. Let me shut up. I'm on my thing. Let me shut up. I've been and violated somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like I ain't with that kind of like I don't like madness like that. Like I've been and violated one of them, bro. For real. I ain't into no kind of you know what I'm saying? And Mesa they be up on some weird type of behavior. I'm like, dude, y'all keep y'all weird behavior out there. Cause y'all be up on some weird behaviors. For real. Yeah. Yeah, keep your weirdness over there to yourself. Straight up. You gonna blow your account. You gonna blow your account up, DuPont. Trying to trade from that fucking. What the hell is that? Oh man. Yeah, don't. Tesla's breaking out, guards. Hold on. If you blow your account, you blame it on the guards. You made me blow my account up, asshole. Oh man. Like guards, could you make this Tesla trade for me real quick? I'll pay you out of my goodie. What do they call it? The goodie bag. Oh man, I'm done, bro. Yeah, I just blew my account up fucking with you, man. Thanks a lot. What kind of crap is that? So, ride winners and cut losers, y'all. Before I get too carried away, ride winners and cut losers, man. What does ride winners look like? What does ride winners look like? That's funny, huh, Cali girl. You blow your account up, you always got somebody to blame. You know how loser traders are like, oh yeah, I blame it on you. You always got somebody to blame right there. You can always blame it on the guards when you blow up your account. Like if it wasn't for this lockdown and you guys mixing it with recreation hour, then maybe, you know what I mean? Oh, you don't like my pick? Oh. Oh, that pick. Oh, what bro trying to trade from the sale. Yup. I knew y'all asses was working for them market makers, you dirt bags. To the guards. Y'all dirty. On God, y'all dirty. Stop God. I knew y'all asses worked for the market makers. On God, y'all dirty as hell. I want my shit back. Oh man. Nah, Cole, you don't know where that's gonna drop back down to. It looks like an uptrend. To be honest with you, that uptrend looks like it has some little pullbacks there. That might be the bouncing spot. Actually, to be honest with you, that might be where it's gonna bounce at. I'm gonna be honest with you on that COP. That might be where that's an uptrend though, and prices look like they like to pull up. I mean, ride up, pull back, ride up, pull back, ride up, and pull back. That's what Ed Psychota calls whipsawing, and that's what other traders call riding a wave. Is like that shit just it's just so damn. It's like riding a Bronco. Like, could you imagine taking a long on a stock and that shit just up and down and just. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going up, but in the meanwhile of it going up, I mean, it's just doing too damn much. That's what traders like to call. Yeah, you can short that down. Yeah, great buy at 60. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's scary to short an uptrend because you don't know when it's going to actually proceed. You don't know when the predominant trend is going to actually, show back up. You know what I'm saying? Intelsat just did that the other week. I got whipsawed out of Intelsat. I was riding it, and then it just did this weird pullback past like the 50 or the 20 or something. I was like, wait, like, is this shit finna collapse? And then it didn't collapse. It kept going. And then it went back to 18. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, thanks a lot. But that's what Ed Psychota calls whipsaw. Calls whipsawing. Stocks, you trying to ride a stock and it just whipping you out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you did an offering, so you caused the market to whip. Okay, I see you. I'm waiting on those DY options, man. to show up. But yeah, I just showed those charts because that's what cutting winners, cutting losers, and riding winners looks like. It looks just like this. It looks just like this. That's what it looks like. If you look at my show, you see all the winners. I mean, if you guys look at just kind of look at how I'm trading, I don't keep nothing but winners. And if I'm looking at a stock, I'm taking a long on it, or we're looking at it and it's on my list or whatever, and it starts showing weakness, closing lower, I'll get rid of it. I'll put something else up there. Now I'm a trend follower, but swing traders can benefit from my trend following etiquette. My trend following etiquette. Traders can benefit from it. Swing traders. Both. However, price action shows me. You know what I'm saying? But I like to catch reversals in price, so I like to catch it from the beginning. Like TNDM, I opened that at like 750. When it actually made that higher high over that last major resistance at 4, I said, okay, now business is on. So I like to catch prices when they start to make their moves. But I will jump into a long uptrend. What another trading sensation likes to call buying in the top right. I do like to buy in the top right too. It's called buying in the top right when you're buying that long-term trend. Because you're buying a trend that's already in a long term. That's just like buying TNDM right now. You'd be buying it in the top right. But I rode that thing from the bottom left to the top right. Yeah, I know something about Intelsat. I took most of my profits from there, boss. But I don't look at a lot of news though. But when it made that major pullback, I had cut most of my position. I said, damn that. Oh, okay. That's a nice option right there, Rock. That's a nice option right there. I like to buy now. Don't this is let me talk something about options real quick. I like options, but I like to buy options that how do I say this? That got some momentum to them, that show some upside to them. Like I like options on stocks that got some umph behind them, and I like to catch like sneaks, like where they're not all blown up, like they're not all crowded and price is not all overextended and it's all expensive. Like I showed those DY calls. Those DYs are 32.5, which is only like $3 or $4 away from share price. But if you look at the momentum, I mean that $32 ain't shit to what that stock has been doing lately. So I'm expecting prices to run through 32 based on what they've been. Yeah, that's the only thing I buy, Rock. That's the only thing I buy. I don't buy nothing. Almost everything I'm buying is gonna look like that. Why would I buy anything else with my trading strategy? And that's also makes your risk to reward. I mean your not your risk to reward. Damn. Your win percentage. Because when you're trading stocks like that have those consistent higher highs and higher lows, you're basically just waiting on the next higher high unless something fucking weird happens in the market. So, I mean, just look at that ADBE chart. I mean, if you were buying those pullbacks, they're money, and especially if you were especially if you were waiting for those 20 bounces. If you're buying those 20 bounces, those are money. That's like a 90% right there. Like if right now, if ADBE hit the 20, started to decline towards that 20 and hit that 20-day moving average, I mean, it's like a 90% chance that it's going to continue because that's what prices have been doing, bouncing off that 20. I like trading. It simplifies trading for me without all the confusion and all the extra shit. Without all the guessing. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to do a lot of guessing. For real. I don't like to do a lot of guessing. Yeah, like see, I would buy. People were asking me like, "Hey, what kind of if you only trade?" I don't only trade long. If I was to short a stock, it'd be something like that right there. I would have shorted that Head and Shoulders. I don't like shorting patterns though. Head and Shoulders. I don't even like Head and Shoulders to be honest. I don't even. But I would have went short. I go short on long-term downtrends, and I go long on long-term uptrends. It's not like rocket science. Those consistent higher highs and lower lows, like we just like me and Rock Solid are talking about, those bounces off the 50-day. Whenever you watch Duxon, he's like, oh, well, this trade right here has like a 90% success rate. I'm like, oh, really, buddy? Does it really? People are like, oh, my God, yeah, he's a liar. Like, no, he's probably right. There is some patterns out there that have 90% success rates. It's nobody's fault you're trading shit that you don't know what you're doing. That you're just chasing everything. You don't have a process or a pattern or you don't it's like I said, when you play on a football team, there's a quarterback, a wide receiver, there's a defensive lineman, offensive lineman. I mean, dude, pick your position. You can't be a fucking quarterback and a damn defensive lineman. I mean, what the hell are you doing? You'd get confused. Yeah, that is money. That's money, Rock. I would buy it every day. If I had to base my trading career on that, I would do that. That's why I said I was talking about Larry, some of the other older trend followers. That's the only thing they do is just trade moving averages, like trading bounces like that, oversold stocks on a rising moving average bounce. A stock that's oversold and it's finna bounce off of a rising 20-day MA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's some strategies that have a high damn success rate. I mean, that's nobody's fault. People are out there trading garbage and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And it's simple trading wins. Rock, just like Rock said. I mean, it's so. Rock, could you come in and speak for me? Because I may sound like a damn fool.
No, I mean, simple. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, simple always wins the trade. Go out there trying to make it complicated. Oh, it's great. No, simple stuff.
Simple.
Most fun.
And then also, what's nice about simple Rock is that if you're doing if you want to trade in for a long term, which it really takes you to trade over a few years, to actual create some capital. But if you want to trade long term, you need to have a simple process. I mean, you don't want to be waiting for like 100 things to happen for you to make a trade for the next 10 years. I mean, could you imagine how like crazy you would go instead of like sticking to something that's simple that you can like do every day without like having to like think of 100 things?
Right. Those you can find those every day. You just gotta look for them. But a lot of people relate to that. I want to look for them. It's just like, no, whatever.
Yeah.
It's simple stuff. People just want to complicate everything. And that's the problem with trading. People, they follow too many people's advice instead of just finding what works out for them.
Yeah, that's true too. There's a lot of advice people taking advice and they kind of don't have a consistent process for themselves.
Right.
Hey, you know what? That's kind of weird, man, because that's that's kind of weird because it
What's that?
brings that we're talking about that.
Well,
Yeah, simple trading, man. Simple trading. That's what Dux was talking about in his little show. I love that. I love what Dux did with that too. That's like my favorite little.
and the other thing is,
What, Rock?
so the other thing is about simple trading. It's like people get out there and think they have to do these massive share sizes and live on the edge and all this crap. And like, no, that's how you go broke, dude. Just keep it simple. Keep your share sizes. What's manageable in your account, and then just hit all these moves, and then you'll be surprised how much money you can gain real quick.
Yeah. I agree. Like, look at those little ass options I'm taking. $5 options, $10 options, making 50 here, 100 there. Just taking those little small chunks.
Yeah, it's like Netflix. I played Netflix on Friday, and I bought that shit for like 98 cents or whatever, and they went up to like $3 a share. I'm just like, bingo, just I was in and out like no one's business. Just
So
easy.
you bought 100 contracts for 98 cents.
No, I didn't buy 100 of them. No, it just depends on the price of them. Like,
No. I don't mean 100 contracts. When you buy a contract, it's already it says like 100 times 9 or 0 point.
Oh yeah. Like one contract is 100 shares. So,
yeah, that's what I meant to say.
So I mean, you take $98, on Netflix for that instance, and you could have made $300 just in that one move, just on the morning breakout. That was it.
Yep. And even like and something I learned too is that even with my process, trend following, is that I might be open long on like 10 stocks, but I don't have like so much weight on any one of those stocks. You know what I mean? Like I'm riding TNDM, I'm riding a few other winners. I only have like 100 shares, 250 shares on some of them, because when they go up, $10 times 250 shares, to me that's fine, because I'm riding 10 other stocks that are doing the same thing, and I can't afford for something to whipsaw back on me, and I have 50% of my account in it. It's like you don't need to take those very large risks. You just don't need to do it, and it will cost you in the long run.
Yeah, a lot of people think that like, okay, well I have to have higher share size because everybody else is. No, screw that crap, dude. Have a smaller share size, do what's right, and then it'll grow. Get your ego out of it, and if you have to take 50 or 100 shares, so be it. You gotta start somewhere.
But and also the thing about a smaller share size is it's so much less heartache on you.
Well, yeah, you can let the trend run out. You can actually play the actual stock and not play your P&L. That's the biggest thing. Everybody
Exactly.
plays P&L. Like, they're sitting here sweating bullets. Oh, I gotta sell. It's like 10 cents down. I'm like, no, dude, just let it ride.
My point exactly. Play the chart. That's what I say. Look, I'm just playing the chart here. As long as the chart shows that business is here, business is good, then I don't have a reason to do anything besides just sit here and let the chart fulfill. Now when the chart shows me it's finna sour, like Jesse Livermore would say, he puts his stop at a point where it shows that the chart is going to sour, not where it shows he's taken enough of a hit. Oh, like, man, that's enough for my P&L. Damn, man, I'm getting out here. Like, no. When the chart shows it's gonna sour, that's where our stop is at. If the chart doesn't sour, we're still long.
Exactly. But a lot of people don't trade that way, unfortunately. That's what I'm saying. That's why I preach it all the time to everybody. It's like, just trade your account size. What's what you're available to lose. What you're comfortable with, and let the trend ride. Because otherwise,
you're gonna miss out, man.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You're gonna miss out. You're gonna be selling at every turn of the corner. Every time the car slows down to make a right or a left turn, you're gonna be like, oh shit, you're gonna be ready to sell.
Yeah, especially these big higher stocks like I play, like Amazon, Netflix, Google, and all that. If you take a small, position size, even in options, it doesn't matter if it's options or 50, shares or 20 shares in Google, whatever you can afford. Let that stuff ride out 5, 6, 10 points. I mean, it'll go, and it's just less stress, and you can actually make more money because you go in there with 200 shares of Tesla. Guess what? You have to have a big account. And 2, you're going to be sweating bullets the entire time. That thing's just moving against you. It's like, no, you can handle a pullback if you have less shares, and you can actually make more money than you probably would have made with more shares because you're comfortable with letting the trade work.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. That's spot on, bro. That's spot on. And people fail to realize that these stocks actually need to breathe. Like, they need to pull back. That's normal stock movement. Like, a good healthy stock you actually want that pullback, because when stocks start riding without having any type of reversions or any pullbacks, like, it starts getting kind of creepy up there. But a lot of people can't even sit through a simple pullback or sit through regular movement because they're just worried. Damn thing. I know, dude, laughing out loud on that, dude. Just the 2%, just get rid of the 2%. Can I get rid of that 2%, 2-cent thing? What the hell are you doing with your 2-cent shit, man? Tyson, get your 2 cents together, bro. What the hell, man?
He's moving up. It'll be 3 cent next week.
Stock God, you need to upgrade, man. Get on that 2 cent strategy, bro. For real, bro. Eventually, your hey Stock God, your 1 cent strategy might evolve into a 2 cent strategy. You never know. Tyson, get it together, man, with your 2 cent strategy shit, man. What the hell?
But on the other note, on the whole pullback thing, a lot of people they freak out after a breakout and then they dump it after a pullback only to see it go back up. It's like I always tell everybody, wait for the pullback, don't chase it, and then get in at the pullback. I mean, that's less risk in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna pull back to the entry anyway, so you might as well just wait. Sometimes, yeah, it won't, but then you're just having FOMO, so you just chase it. So that's just stupid too.
Yeah. And that's why when after I take my initial share size, once prices work in my favor and I have got, and I'm kind of good and we've set some higher highs, I'll knock 70% of my initial. I'll take like 70% of my profits. I'll knock 70% of my position off and just let the rest ride with the predominant trend. And I kind of, at that point, I don't really give a damn what happens. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll set my stops and stuff like that. But after I took most of my portion of my profits at 70%, I'll let the 30 ride with that predominant trend.
That's what I do.
Just let it ride out, man.
I just take the risk off.
Take the risk off.
Yeah, if I go heavy 20, 30 contracts or something, then I'll just immediately take off 20 and leave 10 for a little bit, then I'll take off 5 more, and then I'll let the rest run.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes back to my entry, then so be it. It's a loss on the last 5.
On the last 5. But you absolutely slaughtered those first 15, though.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Because it's just like traders. I think this is a problem with a lot of beginning traders. Beginning traders fail to realize that trading is just like life. It's just like anything. It's just like a baseball player. Like a baseball player is not going to hit home runs every single time. He's going to have some strikeouts. But are you going to be known to be like an awesome baseball player for like capitalizing on, being a home run hitter? Or are you going to be known for like having those stupid ass strikeouts? Like no one fucking remembers the strikeouts, dude. People remember you for being like a great home run champ. And it's the same thing with trading. Like you have to be able to take risk. You have to be able to take some kind of risk in life. Oh shit. Oh, my thing's gone? It's out. Oh no, it's back. Is it out? Oh no, is my thing out, y'all? Oh, okay. No, but it's just like life, man. You got to be able to take risks. You have to be able to move forward with those risks. Like risk is part of the game. Like take the risk and keep moving. Don't let the risk ruin you. You know what I'm saying? Take a shot at life. Take that risk. It's the same thing. Is it free? And if it's free, it might be some funkiness behind it. No, it's cool, you guys. I just want y'all to know I am putting some of this on record because I guess some people were asking about Stocktalk and they wanted to go back and hear it, and so it's fine. They'll be able to go back and catch up on that. Yeah. Nah, but that's what I meant about that. The last thing I put up was a profitable process. Nah, but that's what I meant about that. The last thing I put up was a profitable process. If your process is profitable, man, do not, you know what I'm saying? Don't change it. Don't move it around. You know what I'm saying? Just stick to your process. Not to answer what? Rock?
Oh, Stocktalk's question. He said option years not included.
Hey, what you looking at for this week, Rock?
Me, looking at Adobe, ANAB for possible reversal, ANTM for a multi-top breakout, CVS Pharmacy, DRI. I got a huge ass list. EL, Estee Lauder, Facebook, Nvidia, Home Depot, Nike, SRPT. I like that one a lot. And WBA. A lot of pharmaceutical healthcare stuff.
Like bio stuff.
Huh?
Like bio and pharmaceutical type of shit.
Yeah, that's kind of picking up right now, I've noticed.
Hey, you know, I was looking at that too when I was doing some scans. I said, man, all this bio, and I said, I hope anyone don't think I'm a bio trader. But you know what? At the end of the day, what's moving, whatever shows up, that's what you trade. If bios are showing up, trade them. Don't be like, oh, I'm not trading bios. I don't want to overload with bios. Like, if bios and pharmaceuticals are showing up on the screen inside of your search criteria, then it probably means that they're on the move. Are you going to trade them, or are you going to like twiddle your thumbs all day? Like, what the hell?
Right. Yeah, Nvidia looks nice too. It just depends on this market. The market can go higher here, then it's going to be a good week because Nvidia is showing like a nice wedge and a cup and handle all in one.
I like that SRPT. Hey, somebody pull up the Nvidia screen.
Yeah, SRPT has. I went back way far in SRPT. It's got some. Let me pull it up. SRPT has room to run up to 110 to 117 realistically.
I like that Nvidia breakout, bro.
Yeah, I do too. If you put a big trend on it all the way out to like February,
It's in a trend.
Whatnot. Yes, I mean it's nice.
Yeah, that's a breakout spot right there, man. Once it breaks out of that, that's business as usual, continuation.
And I'm not worried about the RSI. If you look back, RSI can go pretty dang oversold in Nvidia, so it doesn't matter to me. But hopefully, yeah, the market runs this week. Market runs this week. It's gonna be a really good week for everything I've got laid out.
Yeah, but what
Home
about Trump?
Depot's good too. Huh?
What about Trump?
Fuck Trump. I'm just kidding.
That's facts. Facts, bro.
He can't keep his mouth shut, so it doesn't matter. I think this market's pretty much not phased by him. It'll just be another buying opportunity.
Yeah, I've been trading them. All the stocks I've been trading. That's the other thing too. The stocks I'm trading, they don't really give a damn about Trump or any of the other stuff either. So that's the way I like to trade.
Yeah. And most of these, since I don't play crap stocks, most of them they can hold their own.
Yeah, I don't play crap stocks either, Rock. That's why I said in my search criteria for my stocks, I need at least even $500 million in market cap is kind of like going slim. I like $1 billion and up in market cap, and then some other things to match. But when you get that $1 billion and up in market cap, you start getting rid of some of those shitty companies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Mr. Campbell Soup over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I look at everything, it has to have a minimum daily volume of at least 2 million.
Yeah, I like my volume over 500,000 to a million.
Hey, what did I say? I said Campbell Soup was primed for breakout. Doesn't Mondo have some of that crap? I think he does. Options in that for a gap fill.
Yeah, that little reversal kind of right there. Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna hit that 50-day moving average slash gap fill.
And bounce back down.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, I just knew that thing was gonna break out, but I didn't buy any because that thing's too damn slow. I like stuff that moves a couple points a day.
Yeah, I like some movement too.
I watched them play that Campbell's over there on. I watched them play that Campbell's on that 1 cent spread. It's a cent spread, whatever the hell it's called, and it's like watching paint dry.
It's the 2 cent spread, bro.
Yeah. It's gonna be no cent spread on all that shit. Hey, as long as it makes money, shit.
Yeah, true. I'm just playing. Hey, but yeah, I like movement too, man. I don't like to sit in it. That's one thing I did learn from Timothy Sykes' goofy ass. Is that don't sit in dead stocks. Don't sit in dead stocks, man. It's too much movement on the market for you to just be sitting there, twiddling your thumbs and shit. Yeah, the stocks. Oh, the stocks. Who says the stocks you trade are trash, Stock God?
No, his stocks. He calls them trash.
Oh.
As long as you can make money in trash, so be it.
That's why you're shorting them, Stock God, because they're trash, right? Yep. I see some new people in here tonight, man. What's up, Dark Jennings? Shouts out to everybody in here in the room. Agu Stocks, Boss Trades, Cali Girl, Cali Rob. What's up, Cali Rob? Clay Track Cole. I don't see CML in here. What's up, Cute Tech, D Jones, D Nice, Dark Genix. Welcome to the room. I've never seen you in here before. DuPont, Dosakis. Everybody, welcome, Inspire. My man's Ghost. My man's Mag 360. Mag, what's up, man? You don't rotate with us no more? What's up, man? My man's Rock Solid, who is on the mic with me. Money Green, Stock God. The God, Stock God. Stock God, I want you to still come in and put something on him about that, you're 44-1. You're 44-1. Yeah. Yeah, gaps do try to fill, man. Like I said, in my opinion, stocks gap up to gap down. Some weird ass shit, but don't ask me why. But in my analysis, when I go to analyze stocks, they just gap up. I mean, they gap down to just gap back up on themselves. And when you look at the chart, it makes no rational sense. It's like, why would you gap down if you were just going to gap up over that? Like, what are you doing? But it happens. I see that a lot. Stocks gapping down to gap up on themselves. And when I see them starting to make those higher highs and higher lows, I just say, you know what? Business as usual. I'm not going to be fucking gone till November with Wyclef John fucking waiting for this stock to, wait for it to make its move and shit. Sitting in the snow and, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell, man? What are you doing? You been gone till November waiting for the stock to come back? What the hell are you doing? There is really no strategy. The only strategy is higher highs and higher lows, in my opinion. It's the only way you can spot price moving to the upside. The only way you can spot it is consistent higher highs and higher lows. There's no magic sauce. As soon as I notice prices start to make that 2 o'clock slant, you can see it on the 5-year, the 1 year, wherever it shows up. Wherever it shows up, that prices are having higher highs. It's most of the time you can look back on a time frame and see those higher highs coming in, higher lows coming in, and they start breaking resistance. They start crossing like old resistance levels. I get long. I just start riding. I get on my surfboard. That's the thing about surfing. If you listen to Tom Basso and some of those other trend followers, it's a lot like surfing, man. And what part of surfing is it? Is like when the surfer is on his belly and he's like paddling and he's trying to get on that wave. And sometimes he don't hit all them waves, but he will find one. And when he gets on it, he jumps on the surfboard and he starts, he starts riding the wave, So you got to take an entry on those higher highs and higher lows. And that's when you're on your board, you're on your belly and you're paddling, And then when that wave starts riding, you get on your surfboard. When those higher highs and higher lows start coming in, you just stand up on your board and you start riding that wave. But yeah, higher highs and higher lows, you see it more often in the afternoon. My criteria: 10%. To be honest with you, it just depends on what kind of momentum I'm trying to catch. If I'm trying to catch some strong momentum, I'm looking for 10% up in the week and then maybe even 10% up on the quarter if I'm looking for strong momentum. And that's where I start showing up my consistency in price action. Because if you're 10% up in the quarter, that means that's consistency in price, actually, obviously, from that quarter. And if you go 10% up in a week, then obviously there's consistency that was in price action for it to be up in the quarter and up in the week. You know what I'm saying? And then I just start breaking those charts apart. I might get like 50, I might get 100 charts. And then I sort those charts out and I find the most consistent ones. Consistency to me is higher highs and higher lows. I don't want to trade anything outside of that. I don't trade shitty, crappy charts. I don't trade nothing. I just trade charts that I can follow and consistent price action to the upside, and that's it. And when price action to the upside starts getting inconsistent, starts buckling off of resistance and starts going sideways, then I know there's an issue here. And then when we start making lower lows, then I really know there's an issue. But when those higher highs are coming in, I'm just riding the wave. And then I can get used to a higher high here. There's a lower low. And I just go back and look at the chart. And I'm like, oh, these lower lows this is money. I need to sit right here inside this lower low. These lower lows happen inside the chart. Just go back and look at the chart in the last year. And inside that structure, you'll see, oh, there's pullbacks here. But continuation, higher highs, pullbacks. Those pullbacks are for the traders that are just jumping on that trend. That's who for those pullbacks are for those guys. But when the smart money, it's like a plane. Anybody that watches my show, when the plane is about to lift off the freaking the doggone, what is that thing called, you guys? Where the plane is getting ready to leave the damn airport. The damn telepad thing. What the hell is that called? The tarmac. When the trade's going to leave the tarmac and it's starting to barely lift off, you can look at a stock. It starts to do the same thing. When I notice that lift off, before we get too damn parabolic, before prices go to, that's where your best risk to reward is at also. That's why I said a telepad. I know. Get it together, Tyson. With your 2 cent strategy, with your 2 cent shit and your spread strategy and your 2 cent spreads and your damn telepads, man. Get it together, bro. The hell is a telepad? It's ridiculous. Anyways, when the stock starts to leave the tarmac, you know, when I start to see stocks getting ready to make that lift off the launch pad, off the tarmac, oh man, I said, look, here we go. We finna lift off that tarmac. Here goes lift off. I start taking my position. I take light positions, and then as the stock really starts lifting off, boom, I take my full position. And then I'm just riding on the plane. I'm just a passenger on the airplane, riding that smart money. Because that's the smart money that's pushing that, getting the stock lifting off. That's when the smart money starts loading up. When they notice whatever's going on, you don't know what's going on inside the stock. Whatever the fundamentals, that's why I say I don't need to look at any news. I don't trade news. Does everything that's happening inside that stock positive is going to show me in the chart. I don't need to follow news to see that. That's why I hit winners in my opinion, because when I start to notice stocks lifting off, I start taking my entries on them. I'm just loading in with the smart money. You know what I mean? And boom. I don't need to trade the news. Stock guy said, F the news. I wouldn't say that, but I kind of would say that. Not to have anything against anybody that trades news, because there's a million ways to make money in the markets. But when I listen to the guys I listen to, they're like, dude, don't trade no news. You're cutting yourself short when you start trading news. So I don't wait on news signals to come by. Now, when I'm riding a trend and the news comes that says, oh, this stock has just been awarded a price target range lift or whatever they call it, up to, $10 more or 20 more. That's just me. I'll just ride it. I don't have to be the guy that just caught that news bug and now he's buying because there's been a price, whatever they call it. What do they call that when they say prices? There's a guy that says the price buy has been lifted up or something. They're raising the price. The price target has been raised. Like, I'll let those guys chase the price targets. I've been riding this stock already for like 2 or 3 months. My winners, I'm already in my winners like 2 or 3 months already. They're already like 15. And that brings me to a point. That surprised the shit out of me when TNDM hit $20. And somebody on my Twitter thought it was funny because I was like, oh shit, TNDM's a $20 stock now, but it hit 20 and bounced back. But even though it bounced back, I'm like, oh, it's going to cross 20. Trust me. I've been watching this stock for the last 6 months, 2 or 3, 4 months. It goes up, pulls back, but believe me, it's strong. And it crossed up back to 20. I mean, the stock is literally sitting at $19.99. Like Prince. I would believe you, stock God. I would believe you. I would believe you. And from my studies, that's what I was taught to do. That's what I was been told too. I need the chart to show me exactly what's going on here. And the chart will show me with the higher highs and lower lows, it will show me. Like I said, I just wait for that lift off. And when I catch that lift off, that's that price action. I'm sorry, stock God, you're exactly right. Couldn't find a word for it. Price action. I just let price action show me exactly what's going on. That's why I said I don't have anything against anyone that trades moving averages, but I personally don't need moving averages to make my trades. I just need price action, consistent price action inside the chart. And I'll take 100 wagers. When I see 100 stocks on the market at 2 o'clock with consistent higher highs and higher lows over the last year, I'll buy all 100 of those with a $1 stop if I wanted to. Now, tell me, out of those 50 stocks I bought with a $1 stop, or whatever stop that says the chart sours, out of all those 100 stocks, 50 to probably even more than 50, but maybe 50 to 35 of those are actually going to continue. They will continue. They will have higher highs. Facts. Facts. Now those other little 50 to 65 stops that I got out on, those 35 to 50 winners are going to blow those out the water. Completely. Completely. Just decimate them. Decimate them. Especially when you let stocks run to actually do what they're supposed to do. I mean, it's going to decimate it. It showed up in my P&L. It's showing up in my P&L every day. I mean, I'm actually to the point in my trading now, and I hate to say this because I shouldn't be doing this, where I can actually take some coins. I took some coins from one of my platforms this week because I'm starting to be consistent. I'm not better than the next man, but 5 years, a few years down the road, I expect that consistency, boy, to add up. And I'm not changing my process. I'm just going to fine-tune my process. Boom. Yeah, tape reading. Yeah, tape reading.
Tyson, what tapes you gonna be looking at?
What tapes?
Yeah, what tapes are you looking at? You talking about level 2 tapes, or you talking about tapes, or what are you looking at?
I'm just talking about the actual price movement. The actual price action.
Alright, so you more or less like level 2 type shit.
I don't read any technical. I don't trade any I don't trade any. What do you mean by tape reading and technicals? Because I don't know. What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, I wasn't speaking in terms of technical tapes, but when you say tape, a lot of people have different versions of it.
Oh, okay.
Like, some people will read level 2 tape. Some people read the option tape. Like, AE is good at reading the option, tape, looking at the option tape, all the orders that's coming in from the option and determine direction.
Oh shit! Yeah. I can't do that. I cannot read no numbers and shit like that. I can't. I'm not even good at reading level 2, to be honest with you. No, I know you guys live off level 2. You guys are making a living off level 2. I just read the chart when I trade the trend. I just read the price action. That's the tape I'm talking about. Because Jesse Livermore and them were talking about Jesse. Damn, oh my God, bro. Cole, that is so weird, man. Cole, that's hella weird. You know why that's so weird? Because I was looking down here at my lap. I was doing something. And I was saying Jesse Livermore was reading the tape. I was finna say Jesse Livermore was reading the tape a long time ago. But they didn't have the kind of tape level 2 and shit. They just had to actually read what the chart was showing them. So when they were talking about reading the tape, they were talking about just reading the chart. But what tripped the hell out of me was that as soon as I said I was finna tell you guys about Jesse Livermore, his damn daughter was up there. Granddaughter was up there. I said, what the fuck? I swear to you.
I mean, who was Jesse Livermore? Who was that?
As soon as I was looking at my lap, I was gonna look up and say Jesse Livermore was one of he always read the tape, but when he said he was reading the tape, he was just reading how the price that stocks kept printing. They kept printing out this price, and he would calculate. He would know which way that stocks were printing at by watching what price they were printing at. So, but they didn't have actual like level 2 like we have now. They just had, the way that prices were printing at what price, which is basically the same thing.
Well, I guess because the tape reading can really tell the like direction.
Yeah, see, I don't know how to read any numbers on the level 2s and stuff. I can only read, the chart. The prices on the chart, so to speak. That's crazy. That cannot be Jesse Livermore's daughter. I love I love Jesse Livermore, man. Straight up. I do. I don't even know that man. I learned a lot from that man. I learned a heck of a lot from that man.
Are you serious, man? She's a porn star? Stop, you serious? Oh, you just playing, stop. Oh, shit. Yo, you funny guy.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm getting something to drink.
Yeah, Stock I've been watching the porn.
All right. Righteous.
famous trader, correct? He committed suicide?
Yeah, he's a famous trader, big time.
And he committed suicide?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
All the money he made, he decides to take his life like that.
It don't make any sense to me either, bro. It's a sad story, truthfully.
Well, it's a shame, man. That money just, wow.
It's not the key to everything, man. It's not. It's not the key to everything, bro.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Facts.
But what was his rules, though, D-Nice? Like, what kind of rules did he have?
He was a trend follower, bro.
Say that again?
He was a trend follower.
Okay.
Yeah, he made the equivalent to $1 billion because back then he made 100 million. He made hundreds of millions of dollars back then. So $100 million back then would be over $1 billion today.
Yeah, easily.
You know what I'm saying? So, but he blew his account. He had made a shitload of money and lost it all. Like he was horrible at risk management. Horrible. He made a fortune a few times and lost it all. And then I think the last time he lost his fortune kind of was a lot. You know what I'm saying? For him, so to speak.
Wow.
I mean, that's where I learned most of my trading from is Jesse Livermore. Most of that is his quotes that I'm kind of like. He's like one of the grandfathers, basically, a trend follower, Jesse Livermore. They call him the plunger boy because he was a tape reader. He was solid at tape reading, bro. He was like a master tape reader. Back in that day, he was a master tape reader. That's where he made his fortune, reading the tape. Because he used to work for the markets. Somehow he used to do some kind of work for the markets. I forget how he used to work for the markets. Yeah, Jesse Livermore said speculation. I forget what he said about speculating. Damn. I'm going to tell you exactly his quote on speculating. Hold on, let me find it. He has a quote on speculating. Hold on. Let me find his quote on speculating. Oh, here it is. Yeah, anybody that's on the YouTube can see that one. That's speculating. To anticipate the market is to gamble. To be patient and react only when the market gives the signal is to speculate. So that's like basically what a buy stop is. Buy stop is pure speculation. That's exactly what. If you're using buy stops, you're a speculator because a buy stop is when you're only reacting when the market gives you a signal to. That's just like saying, okay, we have 3 to 4 sets of higher highs and higher lows. Now, when price action makes this next higher high, I'm gonna set a buy stop at this price. Or when price action crosses over $5, I'm gonna set a buy stop to trigger it. That's speculating. But to guess where the market is going and guess tops and bottoms is not speculation. To try to anticipate the market, which is basically buying tops and bottoms. I don't necessarily anticipate the market. I'm just making a educated guess. so to speak, with the higher highs and higher lows. And then on the next, and I'll buy the next lower low, or I'll make an entry on the next higher high. That's how I like to make my entries. And then on the next higher highs, I add to my position. So I speculate on my position. On the next higher high, I will add to my position as speculating. Not to guess. Making blind guesses. Blind guesses in the market. Not calculating your risk. Okay? That's enough of that.
I don't know if I ever asked you this before, but do you use indicators on Lord?
No.
Wow, so you just go purely off of just looking at the price action, just looking at the chart, and just going with the higher highs
Yes,
and
sir.
lower low?
Yep.
Wow.
And then I'll map out on the chart. I don't necessarily I use trend lines sometimes. But I only use trend lines for mapping out support and resistance. I trade basically support and resistance. That's what I base most of everything I trade off of. You know what I mean? But I also just base it off of pure price action, like higher highs and higher lows. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah, watch let me show you. C4IQ. Like, see this oh, I'm sorry you guys. Someone just put a picture up of Livermore. That's what I was trying to tell you guys. Thank you for whoever damn it, man. Let me go back up. Let me scroll back up. Let me scroll.
It was never his thinking. It was always my sitting.
Yeah, sit tight. That's what trend following is all about. Like, my biggest
is okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, what does he mean by that? Always my sitting, so he just was sitting waiting.
Yeah, it's like after you take an entry, like I took an entry on, the other winners, TNDM. I made an entry on TNDM at TNDM at 750. That shit is a $20 stock now, but I'm just sitting tight. That's why I said everything I'm trading, I learned most of that shit from Livermore. Everything I'm doing, I learned most of it. That's how I learned how to sit tight. I mean, how would you ever make the money? A lot of moves, I can look at some of these moves and say, you know what? I actually sat through most of that chart you see. Like, I could pull up some charts and be like, you see that chart? I sat through almost that whole move. Rather it be from 7 to 20, 5 to 10, 20 to 50. A lot of those moves, I'll just sit through the whole move. And that's what sitting tight means. That's how you make that's how you make the big money, is by sitting tight. And it's not like you don't have to overthink it. It's just like you make your entry and you sit there. You wait for the stock to finish its uptrend. And it may take a year for it to finish its uptrend.
I was looking at, you talking about IQ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at that shit on fire.
Yeah, like I was saying about IQ is that if I was trading this IQ, I wouldn't be looking at anything but these higher highs and higher lows. And I would just say, look, when price gets over like where it's at right now, when price literally closes above 41, I would just buy like a buy stop at 41 and then set a stop at 40, 39.99, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I would enter that. I'm not looking for any MAs or anything. I'm just looking to just get on that whatever it's doing right there.
Now this has monthly options, and with Would you buy the options, or would you just do a straight up stock call?
That's where I make all my money in options at. That's how I make my money in options. You didn't see my last option plays? Hold on, let me show y'all a few.
Hold on, I mean, I didn't even. I think I found out he was trading options maybe, I don't know, not too long ago. I was like, damn. When I seen you post or something, I was like, damn.
I made some other hitters. Hold on. Yeah, I wouldn't trade it. That's the other thing, bro. My options, I make sure my options are like the prices are like. I buy out of the money. I don't buy inside the money heavily, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, here we go. Let me see.
Overall, do you like the options? Because I know you was trading. You know, you just go long for a long time. I know you're a trend trader, but I mean, overall, Tyson, do you like the options better, or?
I like the upside in options. That's my other one. I did that. I bought that Twitter call at 13 and sold it at 108. So you know what I'm saying? But if that's how I make my money in options. If I look at a stock and I see it's in a high uptrend, I'll just buy options outside of the money. Like when I bought those Twitter calls, I bought those $45 Twitter calls that the price was at like 41 or 40 or like 39 or something like that. But the trend showed nothing but, and I showed it on my show. I said, here's Twitter. Here's the upside I see in Twitter. On Monday, I showed it. I said, here's Twitter. Here's the upside. I showed why it had upside, where it was breaking out, and all that stuff. And then.
So you bought it at 13 and you sold it at 108. So you got over 800%.
I bought it at 13. Yeah. So you see it just right there on the screen.
Yeah. So and you sold it at 108. That's like 800%, Tyson.
Yeah, I bought it at. Let me see. I bought that option. That's the price of it. I bought it at 13 right there.
Yeah, that's a good ass trade, bro.
And then I sold that $45 because it came into the month. You know, if you go back and look at that Twitter option right now, that shit's at 200. It was at like 198. I could have made 200 off of it, but I'm trying to grow my account so when I hit my winners, I don't like to see, especially on options. You know, if you don't take your money in options and price starts to decline, then you're shit out of luck. It might be another week before that price comes back, and that option, you know, your shit might be expired by then. So I don't like to like wait around too long when I have these short time frames on my option on my expiration times. But yeah, I take my shots out the money, like one or like 2 or 3 calls, 4 calls out the money. Then I just let price trade into into the call. But yeah, that's all I do. I always hit 800, 1,000% winners, bro. Always. I got an option right now. I just told you. I just took an option on that DY on Friday before market close. I bought it at 0.5 and it's at 48. But the money, when DY continues through the week, and those calls are July 20th calls. So I'm pretty sure price will rally past 30, 31, 32. It's literally at 29 something right now. So I mean, that's just like right around the corner, and I got like a month and a half. So that 13, I mean, that 5 cents I paid for that option, which was $5 because it's 100 shares in there. That thing's already at 48. But if you look at the calls that are inside the money, they're like $2.60, $1.60. So I know that when price continues on that option or on that stock, price is going to continue, which means the option price is going to continue with it. And sure, by the time my call gets into the money, it'd be way over $1. So that's going to be a huge winner. I'm waiting for that. So yeah, I like to follow my trends, and if the trend is decent, and the option, the call option on it is decent, like I like to buy. My risk on my options right now, which fits my portfolio, is only $3 to like $12 to $13. I don't buy options over $15 and $20. Even if it's a really good option, it's still too expensive for me to lose on any one option in my portfolio at one time. So I still take, 10 to, $3 to $12 risk, but the upside on those is just dumb. I mean, it's stupid. But yeah, I like to follow my trends. If the trend is decent, I'll buy an option with it, so to speak. But I like the upside on options, but I mean, I wouldn't be nothing if I wasn't trend following stocks, because that's basically how I learned how to do everything that I'm doing here. But my money is inside the stocks, because I got different platforms. I got thanks Cute Tech. I got different platforms. I got an option platform for like Robinhood, and I have a different platform for my trend following stocks. What is that? Oh yeah, boss too. That's my man's boss. Thanks for showing up, boss. That's the other reason why I bought. That's what probably the reason why I invited you here, because I boss is the one who gives out some of the ideas on some of my options, on some of the options we trade. So he bought, bro. You bought a you bought a $1,600 call on five. You bought a $1,600 call that expired on 5/4 for $1,600 on April 26th. Sold it the next day for $5,200 fucking dollars the next day. Right there, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah, that's my man's boss. He's an options killer. Yeah, he's an options killer, man. That's good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I honestly think you can make $100,000 trading options correctly. As your account grows, you just stick to the risk. Your risk. Of course, your risk is going to go up as your account grows, but don't go outside of however you got. Like if you went from a freaking $500 account to a $15,000 account, like don't change anything that got you to 15,000. Don't change a damn thing. Don't change your risk. Don't change anything. Don't change your risk. Nothing. Only thing you change, your risk is going to change because, of course, your account has went up. But keep your account, your risk to match, what you can afford, your risk level. Like I said, mine's is like $12, but my risk is capped. I can go to sleep every night knowing I cap my risk at a certain level. If I lose $5 on a damn option, oh well. If that option goes to $50, guess what? Think if I made 10 trades like that. I can lose 5. I can lose half of those. If I lose, let me see. Let me just map this out. If I make 10 trades, right? 10 trades, $5 options. All right? I lose half of those. That's $25, right? But the winners, the $50. Let me see. 50 times 5. That's $250. It's with your risk being calculated like that, capped like that, it's a no-brainer. Amazon, Tesla. Yeah, I don't like too much high. I don't like my shit to be too high, man. I don't like it to be too high. Like I don't like I don't like my prices outside of the money to be like $1. That's like $100 option right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't like my prices too fucking high. I need to be able to make money. Yeah, I feel you, boss. No, but I can't even afford that right now. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't even afford $100. I can't even afford $100 damn option right now. I could, but I mean, could you imagine if that went against me? Shit, I can't afford that. Now that's what I'm saying. When I build my way up, I'll be able to afford that $100 cap. I can't afford that $100 cap right now.
Hey, are you talking about $100 per share or per contract?
I'm talking about like $100 contract. Like
Like out of pocket or what?
like how do I say this? Like that would be $1 per share. That'd be $100 contract. You feel me?
Oh, dollar per share. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I can't afford that right now. I can only afford like not even $1 per share, not even five. I can afford five, but I don't feel comfortable with having a loss like that, 50 cents per share on one contract. That's like, yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about $100 per share. I'm like, shit. No, I don't play that either.
That's $1,000 damn contract.
I know. I don't touch those.
That's $1,000. I damn sure can't afford that. I can't afford $1 contract.
What's up, Tyson? Bad scientist here.
Bats, yeah, you've been killing it too. Are you just trading SPY option? What, you're just trading one option?
That's it. That's all I do. Every day for the last 2 months.
Up and down, then, huh? Puts and calls.
Puts and calls, yeah, both directions. I don't care what happens. When people ask me what's happening with the SPY tomorrow, I tell them I don't care. Either way, I'm making money.
Why? Because you make your wagers when prices go either way.
Yeah, so I'm trading the extremes. I mean, the SPY is an interesting beast. I mean, that ETF, impressive liquidity. We're talking about 82 million average every day. I know the SPY, looking at the SPY moves $2 every day. I know that in the last 2 hours of trading, if it forms a new high or a new low, you trade the reversal. That's all I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think traders fail a lot because they just want to trade everything under the sun. Because I have restricted trading, I've just focused on the SPY, and that's all I do. The first time I started studying the SPY, I looked at the 1 minute, 5 minute chart over the last year, over the last 10 years, just to understand the setups. The way I trade is almost like a NASCAR or Formula One driver. They need to know the track that they're racing on. So each day, each chart is almost like a race course for me. It's almost like a track where you need to know how it moves. So, for instance, if the SPY moves only 50 cents for the next 2 hours, I know that that's not the end of it, because the SPY, like I said, typically moves $2 a day. And so I'm waiting for that next move. And, even for people who want to swing trade the SPY, I've got strategies for that. But waiting for the last 2 hours of trading, that's the best you can ever do, because when you trade options, you're basically, you've got that 100x leverage on the options, and all you need is anywhere between a 25 cent and 50 cent move on a $275 stock or ETF like the SPY, and that's all you need. And then you just use risk management or position size based off of expiration dates. That's more of an art than a science, is deciding which expiration date you want. But I started with $500, did that for about 2 weeks till, I was making money every single trade that I made, and I scaled up from $500 to $5,000.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
So yeah, so the one on my Discord channel, the one thing I've told people about, one strategy I figured out, because I looked at every day of the SPY for the entire year, where the high, the open, the low, and the close. And guess what? If you buy near the low of day on the SPY the previous day, and then you trade into the high of the next day, you've got a 98% chance of making money. In the 251 or 252 days that I assessed of the whole year, you're only going to fail 2% of the time. And even with that, you've got a chance to make a $2 move on the SPY in options, and that's huge. So pretty much, for people who cannot day trade the SPY, if you get into the SPY and manage to catch the low of day, you go in with call options on the low of day, on the SPY, and then just hold it into the next day and sell at the high of day, or even at a higher price the next day. You've got a 98% chance of winning money on that trade. So yeah, these are things like, I've analyzed the shit out of the SPY. I mean, I know everything about the SPY. So why not just stick with that and specialize in that? That's all I do. It sounds boring, but when I'm making anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000 per trade, or I'm making $5,000 per week, that's not chump change. That's a game changer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I've done my homework on the SPY. Like, I would challenge anyone to tell me anything about the SPY, because I know every single aspect of it. There was someone that actually reminded me, because the SPY, unlike stocks, right? You don't have earnings with the SPY, because the SPY is based off of the S&P 500. So the top, 500 companies in the US based on market capitalization. So the five biggest companies, but the SPY does give dividends. And what someone did alert me to the fact is yesterday was an ex-dividend date. So the ex-dividend date is pretty much when the dividend is paid out, based off if you got in the day before, or a few days after that. And while I was studying the SPY, I was trying to look at dividends and dividend investing, and noticed that every day the dividend gets paid out, the stock price drops. So for instance, the SPY had a payout date, or a payout amount yesterday of $1.25. Yes, the trade wars brought the SPY down, but what additionally brought the SPY down was that there was a $1.25 payout for all the dividend holders. So that's a strategy on its own. Just wait for the ex-dividend date, buy puts the day before, because the price is going to drop. That's a no-brainer. You just get into that, make your money. I mean, if you bought puts the day before, like on Thursday, and you saw the gap down in the SPY, I mean, you're talking $2-3 in a move that, with options, I can't even tell you. Like, if you picked yesterday's expiration date and went in on the SPY on Thursday with puts, more than 100% gain you would have made just in an overnight swing trade.
That's solid. That's good stuff, Batch.
Yeah, so yeah, anyone who wants to know anything about the SPY, that's all I do. But I know the SPY like the back of my hand. Like, I honestly, like, no one can tell me anything about the SPY, any new information about it, because I've looked at all the price action of the SPY over the last year, over the last 10 years. So why not just focus on that? I mean, I'm making 5,000 a week on the SPY right now, There's no need to change it. Remember Tyson when Tiger Woods was beating people back in '97? He was beating people by 20 shots, by 15 shots, and then he started messing with how he drove the ball and messing with, his swing and stuff, and then everyone else pretty much caught up with him. But if something's working for you, don't change a thing, and that rang true. You said that, not more than 10, 15 minutes ago, where if something's working for you, don't change a goddamn thing.
Yeah, don't change it. The second you change it, you'll start getting lost, and people start catching up to you.
Absolutely.
Facts. Yeah, that's true. Facts.
So yeah, that's all I do.
I would stick to your SPY strategy until you get to the next 500,000.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I shouldn't do anything else because I actually, like, right now my position size, I'm putting $5,000 into a trade, and in most cases I'm guaranteed of at least $1,000 to $3,000 in any trade that I make. So those are good odds.
What's your cap at right now? What's your risk?
Well, in terms of, like I said, I risk $5,000 position size wise on the trade, but I'm making it with that 5,000. I'm making anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000. So pretty much I'm making anywhere between 20% to about 60% per trade. And I only trade 3 times a week, by the way. So I'm not over trading. That's another thing that gets traders is, you want to trade everything. You want to trade multiple times per day or per week. The PDT rule is actually very good. I know most of us get pissed off by the pattern day trader rule or PDT rule, but I'm only trading 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm making $5,000 per week within those 3 trades or 4 trades. So there's actually no need for me to be even trading on margin. I don't trade on margin. It's just cash. And if you're making 5,000 a week, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I just want, like, for you, Tyson, you're a trend follower. If I was able to get into a stock and hold it for that long, now you're talking like serious smart money. Those type of gains where you put in 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 in a trade, hold it for 3 months, and come out with 100,000 or 150,000. Yeah. That's what I want eventually.
Me too, and I'm working towards it. But the way I'm headed now, and I'm not going to change anything. I'll be there soon.
Okay, nice.
It's just my account isn't big enough. I mean, if my account was big enough, I could have spread enough money around. I'd been had 250,000 just on the winners I'm riding with right now. Some of them I'm up 15 points on.
Hey, Matt. Can I ask you a question?
I'm up.
Yeah, sure.
I'm up 15 points, man, on some of these damn things. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I was just curious about your SPY strategy. Would that work with the S&P mini option contracts as well? Yeah, anything. I mean, just go to something like Yahoo Finance and download the Excel file. You just need to get enough data points to where you download everything to Excel, look at the last year, because the full year will give you at least 250 data points on the open, the high, the low, close, and look at how your stock behaves, because I think what I'm doing with the SPY it can be applied to any stock. The only difference.
I think Bats is cutting out kind of for here for some reason. Bats faded out. That might be me though.
Fibonacci retracements, because for those who don't know Fibonacci retracements, when you do draw them, you just get to you start at the high of day and drag and drop to the low of day, and that gives you 7 different levels that a lot of traders use, and they become self-fulfilling prophecies because you get support and resistance off of some of those levels, and then I basically get in, I buy calls at support and puts at resistance, and it's as simple as that. Occasionally I'll throw in VWAP, so the one thing with support resistance, it doesn't show you momentum, it doesn't show you trend, so you do need a trend indicator of some sort, whether it's a moving average. Um, I love the Ichimoku cloud because it gives you support and resistance for past, present, and future. But based on the angle of the clouds, it actually tells you trend and momentum at the same time. So for me, if anyone asked me the top indicator to use, I would go with Ichimoku. But with the Fibonacci, it's a cheat sheet for support resistance, and then you go in with Ichimoku cloud or anything that gives you trend, and then you can even cap that off with VWAP. VWAP is good for day trading. It acts as excellent support and resistance. So for instance, if you hit a new high on the SPY, it will sell off and actually come down to VWAP where it will have support. Or conversely, if it's a new low day, it will rally up to VWAP and get rejected, and so VWAP will act as resistance. So I've got strategies. You tell me any time of day what to do with the SPY. I know every aspect of what happens in the first 2 hours, in the middle 2 hours, in the last 2 hours. I know every single freaking thing about the SPY. So, and that's why I've got an 85 to 90% accuracy trading the SPY. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Alright. I was curious if you tried your strategy on the minis to see if they're cheaper, right? So you can get more leverage out of them, maybe?
Yeah, and unfortunately I can't do that because I'm restricted with my trading. My wife works for JP Morgan Chase, so we are subject to what's called the FINRA 3210 rule. So I can only trade a few ETFs, the main one being SPY, which is the best one, the Russell 2000, which is IWM, and also the Emerging Markets ETF, which is EEM, volatility indices like the VIX, TVIX, I can't trade any of that. So it's weird how everything's worked out because I'm so restricted in my trading. It forced me to focus on one thing, and guess what? In the last 7 weeks, I've been more successful as a trader than in the last 7 years traded. You guys still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I was letting you
Okay.
talk with that gentleman.
Yeah, so I can't trade. It's unfortunate. Like if I buy a stock, my wife literally has to get pre-clearance for me to buy or sell a stock. And if I do buy a stock, I have to hold it for at least 30 days. I had to close my Robinhood account. It's been frustrating to say the least. I mean, and this started beginning of this year, but you know, they gave me lemons and I turned it into lemonade. All I do right now is I focus on the SPY because it's one of the most liquid, ETFs or stocks that you could get into. It ranks in the top 3 of the top volume performers, and it also ranks within the top 5 to 10. When you add stocks, it's always within the top 10 of volume traded daily. So you can't beat the SPY. There's also, I guess technically there's the SPX, which is kind of based off of the SPY, but I can't even trade that. So I'm limited as to what I can trade, but because I'm so limited, I learned the shit out of the SPY where I can tell you any move at any time of the day what's happening. You give me a chart of the SPY at any time of the day, it'll take me 2 seconds to look at that chart and I'll tell you, will it go up, will it go down? So yeah, it's funny how things work out.
It's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's all I have on my end, Tyson. I just
EDM
the advice I give.
EDM
Sorry,
Purist
go ahead.
has a question for you.
Oh, sure.
It's inside the room right there. Have you?
Oh, sorry, I'm on my phone.
No, he said,
so
have you tried the mini?
Yeah, so like I said, I explained that I'm restricted with my trading, so I can't just trade anything under the sun because my wife works for JP Morgan Chase and I'm only allowed to trade certain things. So yeah, I can't trade anything I want to trade, unfortunately.
Alright. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the day actually where I'm making, I think right now the sweet spot of my trade is a $5,000 position with my options. And it's so funny because I can tell you based on my risk management, I can actually tell you which option I'll get into based on the price of the premiums of the option, to where I won't get charged, that much in terms of commissions or fees.
Mm-hmm.
But I typically shoot for somewhere between an 80-cent option to about $1.20. That's the sweet spot for me with a $5,000 position. So all I do is I find an option that has a decent expiration date. And when I say decent, I mean that if I'm really about a trade, I'll actually do a same day expiration, which I've done in the past and made 100% in 30 minutes.
of my initial investment. If I'm really confident, I'll do a same day expiration. But for people starting, for people wanting to get their feet wet, pick an expiration date that's 1 week out, at least 1 week. And then as you get comfortable trading those options, you can shorten it to, let's say you get in on a Monday, the SPY has 3 weeklies that expire on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can pick Friday if you go in on Monday. As you get more confident, you can pick Wednesday for your expiration date if you're buying on Monday, and then ultimately, if you're searching for the biggest profitability,
you'll go for the same day.
Options, you're going same day out of the money, and I'm telling you, that's when the SPY moves 13 to 1500% in 1 day on those type of options. When I made 100% on a trade in half an hour a month ago, I only captured 7 to 8% of the move because I made 100%. I was patting myself on the back and saying, "Hey, you made a good trade, Bats." And then I looked at the total move of that day, and it was 1300%. So I'm telling you guys, like people who are wasting time with OTC stocks, options is the way to go. If you know what you're doing, you're looking at 25, 50, 100% gains if you know what you're doing per day, per trade.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I've had a few $1,100, $1,200. I mean 12%.
Wow.
1,100, 1,200% winners, 800% winners.
Wow, I wish I could have that. And this is where you come into it, because I would need to learn from you, like to be patient, to get into a trade and trend follow, because on options, if you're trend following and holding for weeks or months, that is serious money. The advantage of what you do, Tyson, is that you're not paying too much in commissions. I pay an F load in commission, like it's crazy. It's crazy. A one-legged trade. So when I buy, I'm paying anywhere between $30 or $40 one way, and then when I sell, it's another $30-$40 one way. So the one advantage that Tyson Bats has with trend following is you put your money in the trade, you follow the trend, you maximize your profits, and you absolutely limit your commissions.
Yeah. Yeah, ride winners and cut losers is the name of the game.
Absolutely.
And then when you ride your winners, you actually gotta, proper trend following from Covell, quote unquote, is actually following a trend until it's done, and that could take a long time. But I mean, you're limiting you're not buying and selling. You're limiting what you have to, your activity.
And Tyson, you know this. I mean, think about something like Facebook, or think about all these stocks. If you're trend following and you're making $20, $30, $40 moves on a trade in options, I mean, you can buy a house with money like that. I mean, that's the scary part of it. I remember when Connor tweeted about, remember when Chipotle released earnings? When was it? The last time they released earnings, and he was talking about if you put $1,600 into Chipotle the day before, and they beat earnings and shot up, I don't know what it was, like $30, $40. From $1,600, you would have made $250,000 the next day.
Jesus Christ. There's a few opportunities like that happening around. If you trade enough and you stick to the right opportunities, you can hit something like that. Especially
crazy.
The main part behind that though, Bats, is that if you can grow your account to be able to take that $1,600 option.
Yes.
You're right now.
Yes.
You can take a $1,600 option because you're taking $5,000 risk on SPY,
Exactly. You're right.
and
You're right.
that's double. I mean, that's almost triple of that $1,600.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I can't trade options on stocks. The only exception is if I do, I need to go out with a lead, and I'm not about to put, five, $10,000, $15,000 and wait for a 12-month expiration. So I really have a crappy time right now. But it's weird, like I said, I can trade the SPY without any restrictions, and that's what I focused on.
Yeah.
Because Facebook options, I can't do that. Like any stock options, I
Yeah.
have to get a 12-month expiration date on it. I can't sell it within 12 months. I mean, what kind of shit is that? But that's a different topic altogether. I've vented enough about that on Twitter, but I can't do like 95% of what most of you guys can do. I cannot do any of that.
Yeah, I understood. I feel you. That's kind of understood.
Yeah, but I mean, like those type of moves where if you do your homework and you can take the risk is go with an out of the money the day before earnings, or the day of earnings. Earnings is at the end of the day. Put in a few $100s. If you've done your due diligence on that and it beats earnings and gaps up on options, man. Forget about OTCs because OTCs, this is like you risk the same amount of money where you put in a few $100s on a stock that's maybe one thousandth of a penny or 10,000th of a penny, and try to hold that, for dear life, for months, for weeks. I'm telling you, options, the advantage of options is that you have the same profitability of an OTC sub-penny stock added with the security and the safety of a blue chip company.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Of an actual company, not a fucking shitty,
yes.
which is definitely more reliable. I mean, whoa.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when I started day trading the SPY, I haven't been interested in anything else. Like I could get into an OTC stock, put a few hundred or $1,000 or $2,000 in an OTC and hold it for 30 days because that's the minimum time that I can buy and sell is 30 days. Occasionally you'll see some, like the cannabis companies, if they hit a low, you just get in and maybe hold for a month or two.
200%. That's time that could be spent actually making hardcore money with options every day because you've got a T+1 clearance on, you buy and you sell a stock today, your money's in the account the very next day. And this is where, people don't realize this when they're focusing on these penny stocks is um, as soon as you start moving to options and you've got that 100x leverage, you cannot beat that. I mean, I'm pretty much look at the best traders out there: Tim Sykes, Ross Cameron. These guys, when they talk about making, even Stephen Ducks, who is Tim Sykes's student or was, and he's doing really well. Ask these guys when they make $2, $3, $4, $5,000 a day, how much money are they risking to put in that trade? And this is where, hands down, with options, you cannot compare the risk reward. There's no comparison. If you know what you're doing with options, um, these guys are putting in 10, 20, $30,000 to make freaking $2,000 on a trade. and I'm using literally almost a tenth of that, or a fifth of that, or even half of that money to make the same amount of money that they have to risk 10, 20, 30,000. This is what fundamentally traders miss. Whenever you guys analyze the top traders and they're saying we're making 2,000, 3,000, $5,000 trade, ask them, put them to task, ask them how much money did you risk to make the $2,000, $3,000. And then when you start learning options, you'll learn that there's a whole new world out there where you don't have to risk
Agreed,
$20,000, $30,000. You
100%.
only have to risk $500 or $1,000 to make the same amount of money that these guys are making on a daily basis.
I agree, man. That's solid. That's solid stuff, Max.
So just don't miss that point. I mean, this is these guys don't actually tell you how much they risk. They just, yeah, they just post profits, and you should ask them how much did you put into that trade to make the $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree.
And that's what people have asked me. Like, I post my gains, right? I post the exact trade showing what I put in, what I got out. If I'm risking $5,000, I'm getting 2,500 back. I'm getting $1,000 back. I'm getting 1,500. Show me anywhere. Go find me the best trader right now who day trades, and try to find anyone who's getting that return on investment, or ROI. At the end of the day, that's what counts. How much are you risking? How much are you making? Return on investment, ROI. It doesn't matter that you know you're making all this money, but for newbies who are risking a lot, and they're probably trying to put all their money in an account, you don't have to do that. If you learn how to trade options, you don't have to risk large amounts of money to make what you need to. Return on investment is one thing that's so overlooked right now, because people just look at the absolute amount. Oh, I made $2,000, I made $3,000. Ask those people, how much did you put into it to make that? I can't overstress that.
I agree, Bats.
So
It's the same concept because there's nothing in comparison. If you know what you're doing in options, because most people, they're just told, oh, it's risky, blah, 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 don't do it. You know what you're doing. I spent, a couple of weeks looking at the
couldn't even, because the problem with options, the biggest disadvantage of options over stocks is the expiration. Like, if you cut out the expiration, like, I guess futures would be where you can trade options and there's no expiration associated with that. That's the only disadvantage that I can say options. But if you know, for instance, like, you day trade, so if I'm putting a lot into the SPY, I probably manage risk by not picking like a same day expiration. I'll pick something a week out, put $5,000 in a trade. The SPY moves 50 cents, and I'm up freaking anywhere between 500 to $1,000 in a matter of minutes, like literally 5 to 30 minutes is is my average trade. And when I'm having a bad day, it will be an hour or 2 hours, but I'm making, like I said, anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 a day in 5 to 30 minutes. So this isn't child's play, guys. Like options, if you know what you're doing, you will leave all these other like penny stocks. You won't have any more interest with any of that stuff anymore. So
And when you say penny
enough
stock, you mean
said.
and when you say penny stock, you mean those cheap ones, right? When you say penny stock, you mean those dirt cheap ones, right?
Well, technically, a penny stock less than $5. So even if it's a Nasdaq stock and it's $5 or less, I'm lumping all of those things together because I've analyzed, the best traders out there in terms of like return on investment. These guys are making, if they're really really good, anywhere between 5 and 10% that they're making on the trade, and so they're putting a lot of money to make that five. I can make 5% on the SPY in my sleep.
Me
I
too.
don't even.
5% is
I kid you not.
5% is boo
You
boo.
know. Yeah, that's chump change for me. Like, if I'm not making at least 10%, something is wrong. Something
Yeah.
is tragically wrong. I misread the chart. I guaranteed. In fact, like I trade for my mom. I trade for a few people. Helping them out. I actually tell them, if I lose trade or if I don't make you at least 10%, I will actually pay you
Refund
back
you.
if I make that. That's as confident as I am when I trade the SPY. I used to, like Tyson, when all of us started trading and we started trading with huge amounts of money, heart rate would go up, you'd get sweaty palms. I literally, without blinking, without emotion, I can put $5,000 in a trade with no emotion whatsoever. And so when these top traders are making 10, 15%, I laugh at that because I can get those moves literally in seconds, in minutes with options. If you know what you're doing with options to get 10%, that's a freaking joke. That's a joke.
Yeah, something probably
Well,
went wrong if
it,
you
it,
got a
it
10%
sounds
gain. Because
really
options don't even kick off at 10%
sounds really
gain.
great to hear you guys talk about options after all this time.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I before I learned how to trade stocks, but I also believe in candlestick patterns. It's funny, like when I started trading options, all the technical indicators, all the knowledge that I've accumulated in 7 years meant diddly squat because, like I said, the SPY, and let me make a disclaimer, I'm talking about the SPY. I'm not talking about any other stock. It might have a different pattern, it might trade differently, but specifically on the SPY, I trade on basic support and resistance, and that's it. That's the main thing that I trade on the SPY. It responds really well. If you know support and resistance and you know how to trade options, that's all you need. Support, resistance, and your options knowledge. That's all you need. I'll repeat that. Support, resistance is all you need to trade the SPY. Trust me, I've looked at this each and every way, and there's like I said, the only bad thing with support and resistance is it doesn't give you trend. So you need to put something that, whether it's RSI, whether it's commodity channel index, whether it's the Ichimoku cloud. You just need to know where the trend is with that support and resistance. But yeah, there's nothing. It's. I hate to make it sound as simple as that, but if you're at the level that I am, where you know support resistance, all the other indicators that I used to be into out the window.
That's what I said.
That's
Support and
it.
resistance are like the main keys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And even if
And
you're
so,
looking at a
but
trend
this
line,
is
even if
why Tyson bats your way of trading. If I had your patience and trend followed a lot of my stuff, I mean, obviously, like I can't do that with, I can only trade the SPY, and the SPY is very temperamental. I mean, Donald Trump sneezes today, the SPY moves the next day. I mean, or if a war breaks out in the Middle East or something happens, then the SPY is going to move. So that's why I advocate, day trading the SPY rather than trying to
long term.
predict where it's going to go. Yeah, in a week or two. No one knows that information. But if you're day trading it with options, so for someone who's actually buying the ETF outright, they're having to put 30, 40, 50, $100,000 into that trade because the stock is so expensive. I mean, it's a $275 ETF. And so for them to make profits, they're having to risk 50, $100,000. You're doing that with $1,000 and making the same amount of money as someone who's putting 50 to $100,000 to buy the ETF outright. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
I've been saying
that.
that for a while now. It's really funny to hear you say that.
Yeah, well, and it's true. Like I said, I'll repeat from what I said before. When people get into a stock and they said, "Oh, I made 1,000 or I made 3,000," ask them, "What did you risk to make that?" It's all about return on investment because no one wants to risk $50,000 to make a couple $100. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Like return on investment is not very good if you're having to put $50,000 to make $200. But guess what? If you're risking $500 to make $200,
That's good.
that's a good return on
Yes,
investment.
it is. I'm right in that average. My return on investment is around on my good winners. It's
Yeah, my
between.
go-to stocks are Baba and Nvidia. So I've been trading those for a long time to the point where I know those patterns and how they work.
Nice, nice. And I would say stick with those two. Please don't find interest in three or four or five other stocks. If that's your thing, learn the crap out of them and stick with those. That's
But
my advice. If you
I've been
guys
trading the
don't,
options over almost a year and a half now. So
okay,
I
okay.
used to do the whole stick to the whole too, which is cool, but after a while you get bored.
Yeah, and this is unfortunately traders don't realize that when things get boring, that's a business, right? We are all trying to make a business out of trading. This is what traders fail to realize is that it's more of an adrenaline rush to get into a new stock and try and make money from that. They miss the point. The point is you've got to be able to reproducibly every day consistently be able to make money. And when you lose sight of that, then you're like, oh, what's Nvidia doing? What's Google doing? What's Facebook doing? What's Chipotle doing? You're all over the place. Mentally, you're not even there to be able to focus on one stock because even when you're trading one stock, you're thinking about four or five other stocks while you're trying to trade that stock. And so it becomes a point where you become your worst nightmare or your worst enemy because you're not focused, you're not disciplined. And so, yes, I agree, it's boring as hell. It's boring as heck. But if boredom means making money consistently, I'm going to take boredom every given day and twice on Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, the good traders say that if it's too exciting in your process, you're probably not making a lot of money. And if your process is
Yeah, I mean,
boring,
I've
you're
been
probably
there where you
cashing out.
are right now. So I remember that. It's like exciting when you first start making money and you're like, oh, look how easy it is. A lot easier than with large caps or with, penny stocks. But after a while, you just want to do something extra. Then it becomes not just about the money. It becomes about learning different skills, learning different trades, learning
Oh,
different.
but you realize though that you can, like, within the SPY, it's only one ETF I trade, but there's so many different strategies that you can pick to trade just the one thing. So it's not as boring as it seems because you can find different strategies within trading just one ETF. Someone just asked now if I use level two. No, level two does nothing for me. Because I know how the SPY moves, I could care less about level two because look, okay, those of you who were following me on Friday, I called when the SPY moved and I said buy puts right now or buy calls right now. I wasn't using level two for that. I'm telling you. Okay, so level two, yes, it works for a lot of people for whatever strategy they're using. But once again, I'll make a disclaimer for the SPY. When I can see on the 1 minute chart that I have resistance, I don't need level two to tell me that there's resistance. I don't need level two to tell me that there's going to be a sell off. I don't need level two to tell me that I hit support. I look at the chart, I look at the price action. I could care less about level two. And with level two, it's based off of algorithms. There are people who are trading this fast. The time you see on your level two that a trader came in and out, it's already too late. Especially if you're a day trader and you are making quick like decisions and quick trades. I agree. Yes, I know. Like Stockgard has his 1 cent strategy with level two, and he's mastered that. That's good. But when I'm looking at a chart and I can see there's resistance here, there's support here. I don't freaking need level two to tell me that this is resistance or this is support.
What has level two ever did to you, Bats?
What's that, Tyson?
I said, what has level two ever did to you?
Hey, Batch, and I'm sure you're probably already familiar with this. You can see, have you ever noticed that you can figure out your percentage of what you make for every dollar that the SPY goes up?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
all you do is take you take the delta what it's paying and divide that by the app, and it'll tell you your percentage of what you'll make for every dollar that it goes up.
Okay, so I should have a conversation with you about that. That's something that I don't know. And
you take the delta, right? So
yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example. So the 277 call, right, for June 18th.
Okay.
Now I don't know what yours has, but it's telling me that the delta is 55 cents, a little bit more than 55 cents, the 0.553.
Okay.
So you take that and divide it by the 73, which is the app. That gives you about 75%. So for every dollar that it goes up, you're going to make 75% on your money.
Okay, yeah. So I need to talk to you about this separately because that's new information, and I'm always trying to learn. I appreciate that. Yep, I did not know that.
Yeah, so you can it'll tell you right away what you're going to make.
Okay.
So you take if any, and those numbers change as it's moving, it's changing.
Right.
So when you get in, you can use what you got in at, whatever it was at what you got in at, because it can go up. As you get more in the money, those numbers change. They go up.
Exactly.
But it basically tells you, you take the delta age, you take the delta and you divide it by the asking price. It's going to change, but you can take the delta at the time and what you got in, and you divide it by the asking price, whatever you paid, and it'll come up with a percentage, and that's what you make for every dollar that the stock goes up.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I only discovered this a week ago on Thinkorswim. I've been always looking at the actual SPY chart itself. You can look at the options premium chart, and I only discovered that last week. Like, you'll have your own chart for the options premium that you've picked, and actually see if it's moving up, if it's and actually trade from that chart rather than from the SPY itself. So yeah, and I only discovered that last week that you could do that. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love learning new things because we don't know anything. No one knows everything. So if you can capture, useful pieces of information like this, incorporate it into your trading, I mean, it just makes it more powerful. A lot of people ask me like about volatility and the Greeks and whether I look at time decay. Because I'm day trading most of the time, I actually don't give a damn about what the Greeks are because I'm looking for a minimum of 10%. So I'm not greedy like a lot of traders. And if I'm going in with $5,000 looking for a minimum of $500, for me, that's all I'm focused on. I don't care about the time decay. Time decay only plays a part with my style of trading. It only starts affecting me if I pick a same day expiration. And I've been burnt several times with that. But if you're picking like day after tomorrow, or you go in on Monday, you pick a Wednesday expiration, or you pick a Friday or a following week's expiration, yeah, your time decay is going to be minimal. And I don't care what people say, like, yes, time decay plays a part, but when you know the price action of the stock you're studying, time decay, it does nothing. I mean, in the sense that you know that the SPY moves $2 a day. I'm trying to capture 25 cents to 50 cents on a move. It doesn't matter what time decay is because you're focused on how much you need to make based on the average, the average true range, or of that security. So a lot of people get baffled when I say I trade options. I don't worry about time decay, and that's exactly what I mean, is that it doesn't even factor in based on the way that I trade. It's almost like instinctively I'm taking care of time decay and factoring it in even though I'm not looking at it, if that makes sense.
And let me just add to that what I just said, Bax. It's usually the ones that have the highest return or the highest percentage return on your money is one in the money, at the money, or one out of the money. They usually offer, if you do the math on those are usually the best ones for the highest percentage return on your money.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. oh, if you go with an out of the money same day expiration, that's the best you could do.
Right. It's usually one out of the money. So it's usually one in the money, you're actually at the money, or one out of the money usually offer the highest percentage return for your money.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
good to
that
know. I
makes
like that.
sense.
Thanks, guys.
So if you do the math on any one of those three options, like on the SPY, if you're looking at the SPY for June 18th, you would do the 276.50, the 277, or the 277.50 calls. Either one of those would offer the highest return on your percentage return on your money.
Well, that's music to my ear because I'm on 276.50 puts right now and 277 puts.
Yeah,
And
those two, and probably the other one, if you did the math, the 277.50, one of them is going to have the highest return for what you've invested in. It's going to be one of those three.
I agree. I agree.
That's good stuff, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's great stuff. I wish I'd learned about options 5 years ago. I wouldn't be wasting my time with anything else.
I got an options account and a stock account.
What's that?
I got an account for stock and an account for options.
Is that a question, Tyson Bats?
No, I'm just saying.
Tyson?
No, I was saying I got an account for stocks and an account for options.
You broke up, Lord.
No, I got an account for stocks and an account for options.
Oh, okay. So you got 2 different accounts. Who do you do your options with? Bring up.
Robinhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I do Robin, but once again, restriction trading, I had to actually shut down my Robinhood account. I mean, can you guys believe that? It's madness. Can you believe it?
That is madness.
My guess.
Trade and the last one is Vanguard. Those 3 were fine. They asked what else I had. I said Robinhood. They're like, if you want to trade, you're gonna have to shut down Robinhood. My guess is they can't monitor what I'm doing on Robinhood. That's my suspicion.
Well, where is Robinhood based? Is that based out of the States?
Yeah, it's based here,
that's
but
why.
because it's these renegade kind of trading platforms, it's not a traditional trading company like they
Right,
can't.
and they're based out of the United States. That's why.
Yeah, they can't monitor what I'm that account, so that's
exactly.
why they told me to close it down.
Yeah, that shows exactly.
Yeah. So that sucks because I would be making my trades in Robinhood right now and not paying, $60 a round trip trade or $80 a round trip trade. So even with the commissions that I'm paying, I'm still really, really profitable. But I wish I could do it in an account like Robinhood.
You got to make sure you're profitable too, paying those kind of fees.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I'm gonna at the end of this year when I look and I see how many how much in terms of fees I've actually paid. I think it's gonna give me a heart attack.
It's gonna be a few thousand.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised because with every trade, if I'm trading 3 times a week and I'm paying $60 to $80, that means I'm freaking almost at $250 in fees per week.
A week.
That's madness.
That is.
Yeah, that is crazy. Holy shit! Yeah, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I know, and people have asked, look into, Tasty Works, Tasty Trades, and I think I may not be allowed with Tasty Trades in the same way that they didn't allow me to use Robinhood. They want me to trade in traditional brokerages like Charles Schwab.
Right, because they got good paperwork and they can track.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Tasty Trade sucks. I'm just gonna let you know.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
I've heard good things about them.
Yeah, it's good. They say it's good if you're like doing complex spreads and stuff and you don't need out of a position pretty quick. But I have 2 accounts with them and like 6 or 7 accounts with TD Ameritrade and one with Robinhood. But by far, it's the worst. There's no way to practice using the platform, buying and selling. And the very first time I used it, I lost a lot of money just trying to sell my position, and it wouldn't let me sell because it's a ridiculous platform for day trading.
Okay, that's
So-
good. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be cool. I try it out because they have cheap options, all that crap. But it's good if you're doing spreads and you're holding in. You don't need in and out of position real quick, because other than that, I mean, the app sucks. It crashes on me all the time on my phone, and it's junk.
I mean, let's face it. All of the, from what I've seen and what I've talked to guys on here, I mean, all of the trading platforms have issues. TOS has their issues. E-Trade has their issues. It's just a matter of what you're comfortable with, and if they have, if they're, one might have a little bit less issues than the other. Some have better level twos than others. So I guess it all depends on. They all have problems, man.
Let's put it this way: I'd trust $1 million before I trust Tasty.
Huh?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, because I'd never heard about that, and it's always good to get different levels of feedback on this. So appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just the executing of the trades, everything like that, and the speed and the platform. I know every platform has its issues, but I mean, I've experienced a lot of issues just that platform solely, and I mean, it's to the point where I won't touch it anymore. I keep a swing position in it a time or two, but that's it. I will not use it for day trading.
Okay.
What platform is that?
Tasty Works.
Oh, okay. Shit, I never even heard of that shit.
Yeah, I know the charting system sucks. I mean, I remember me and Mondo had it, and they were taking in people. I remember that when they first came out with that cheap ass options trade. But when we looked at the platform, oh my god, the platform was hard. The charting shit was just garbage.
Well, I guess that's a Robin Hood, right?
Yeah, and you got to watch the fills too, because you may think you're getting filled at one thing and then you're not, and that right there will nab you.
Well, but if you're putting in a limit, then you should be fine, right?
Yeah, but the limits, like, they're so slow, they weren't even executing it. Just even though the
Oh,
stock,
wow.
yeah, it's just problem after problem. I mean, it
Well,
just
get
wasn't worth
this.
my time.
Well, get this. You guys will cringe at this, but when I trade, I use market orders typically for my buys and sells, because I want them when the price hits when I look at support resistance and it's where I want it, I actually use market orders, and that's actually like a big no-no with day traders, because you can get slippage, right? If the stock suddenly drops on you, and it executes at market, you'll miss your you'll miss the price point, that you wanted. But guess what? I'm 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 so confident about my trades. When it's struggling up there in resistance, I buy with market orders and sell with market orders. It sounds crazy, right? But that's what I do, because I need it to execute instantly. I don't want it to stall. I don't, with limit orders, if it comes a little under that price and it won't execute, then I'm done. Like, I've had to wait several times throughout my trades, or several hours, for a specific price point to get reached. So I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm scalping off of like the move of the day. So I actually go in with market orders, if you guys can believe that.
Believe it, bro. The market order.
Yeah, it's not common. I mean, most traders, they'll put limit orders. Market orders are not. No one typically uses market orders, but I'm using them every day that I trade.
So, Bats, you're not doing a lot of stocks personally now, since because of the way your platform's set up and stuff.
Yeah, and with the restrictions, yeah, I'm not doing a lot of stocks. Occasionally, I noticed that I lost a lot of followers on Twitter because I used to post like watch lists for both Nasdaq penny stocks and OTC stocks, and now like the people who follow me, like the serious people who are interested in actually making money every day, those are the people that follow me and ask me for advice on the SPY. And I mean, it's it's something that these guys need to, when I post my stuff about the SPY, they need to take that knowledge, whatever I've done with the SPY, and apply it to every single stock that they want to trade. But yes, Tyson, I'm only focused on the SPY. I don't look at any other stock. Occasionally I'll tweet. I've got a few filters that I use to make stock picks and look at candlestick patterns, but I'm all about the SPY right now.
You said a heck of droppers. You said a heck of people stop following you when you stop following.
Yeah, because I used to post watch lists, and I don't do that as often right now.
It's funny, man. That's heck of funny.
Well, but it's weird. Like, okay, in Twitter, right? You can do. I guess there's an analytics section where you can see who's following you from what country, from all of this. Most of most of the high volume. So I will typically get anywhere between 20 to 40,000 engagements on any one tweet if I post watch list. So it's like when you post a watch list, that's when people actually follow you and look out for it. They're not interested in one or two stocks. All that the traders want is, you know, give them 20 stocks on a watch list and say, look at this. Because if you think about it, with a watch list, you're actually doing the work that people don't want to do. They just want to know what's moving for that day. And then from that list of 20, then they go and look at, the individual stocks. So if I don't tweet any watch lists, I don't get views, I don't get tweet engagements. It's kind of changed now because I'm 2 months into trading the SPY, and people are seeing the type of money that I'm making. So it's gotten to a point where right now, okay, people are like, this guy might seem to know what he's talking about, because he's making money today. I had one person ask me, like, what do you do with risk management? What happens when a trade goes against you? And I said to him, I wish it did, because I've been winning in most of my trades that I don't know what to do when a trade goes against me, because it's only 10% of the trades go against me. And in most cases, if I'm patient enough and don't, immediately cut my losses, um, I can break even make money on a losing trade. So that kind of caught me by surprise, and it's kind of scary if you think about it. Think if, like, I mean, Stockgard, what was it? Is he at 30 or 40 wins in a, and it's kind of like me, like when I trade the SPY, I'm not wrong. Like, based on how I trade, it's rare for me to actually be wrong on a trade. So that's actually scary, because that means if a trade does go against me, I actually don't have experience in cutting my losses. I'm so confident about my trade that I don't actually look at stop losses. I don't use stop losses whatsoever. And if that wasn't a winning formula, I would have corrected that, but make 30 trades in 30 trades and only lose 2 or 3 trades. You can't beat those statistics. You just cannot beat that. You guys still there? I see a. No, I do not. I do not. Yeah, so my way of trading is not very conventional, and I, Tyson, I put that disclaimer that um, you know, yes, yes, absolutely. So that's the disclaimer I'm making. I know what I'm doing to the extent that when I go into a trade and it starts going against me, I don't panic. Like, a lot of traders talk about cutting losses quickly. It's not about cutting losses quickly. It's about cutting losses intelligently. And that means, oh, when a trade goes against you, don't just panic and sell and cut your losses immediately, because you could still be right on that trade, and that only takes experience and knowing what the fuck you're doing. Because I've sold quickly out of the SPY. The few times I've lost on the SPY, I've cut my losses, and then it comes back and I discover I was right with my analysis, with my thesis on the trade. It just temporarily went the other way and then came back. I've lost in the few times that I've lost on the SPY, it's because I wasn't patient enough to let the trade work itself out and tell me what's happening. Yes, yes, yes. That's why I love the way you trade, Tyson, because you follow the trend, you follow the trend. It doesn't matter if there's a dip on that day, the trend is still up. Don't panic. Like, I mean, the power of the brain, right? You got into the trade because you saw a trend, and people, and this is very controversial. I must admit, it's very controversial. People talk about cutting losses. Put your stop loss in at 0.5%, 1%, 2%. But what if you were right and that trade gets executed? I would say, if you really want to put stop losses, give yourself enough breathing room. Like, don't pick something that's tight, a tight stop loss that will stop you out immediately. Give yourself wiggle room. But I'm telling you, Tyson, and I'm telling everyone on this channel, on this forum, that it's not always it's not always about cutting your losses quickly. It's about cutting your losses intelligently. And that's where, Tyson, you have an advantage, because if you're following a trend, yes, the stock will be down that day. It could be down for 2 days. Exactly. I mean, Tyson, like the way you trade, and it's so amazing because People might look at me and say, "Oh, this guy's an experienced trader," but I don't know everything. If I could trade like you, Tyson, with options, where I'm probably making, a few trades a month and holding on to them. Oh my God. On options, literally you'll be buying houses based on the amount of money I'm putting into trades. I would be able to buy a house cash with the way you trade, Tyson. That's where smart money is. That's where the big dogs are. Like they get into a trade and they're looking 3 months out, 6 months out, 9 months out, 12 months out, 2 years out, and making these giant trades where they just put in their money, they're looking at the trend and they're keeping their money as long as they can keep it in that trade and making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, whatever you can dream of. That's what you do. It's almost like on the 9th November when Donald Trump won in 2016. If you'd gone in the market, pick any stock you'd wanted and go long for 2 years on an options play, OMG. An options play on the SPY, the Dow for 2 years. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. 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 So I've changed the way, like, in terms of when I give advice to people on what to trade, because I've never had results like I have now. Like I said, the last 7 weeks of trading, I've had more success in the last 7 weeks than I have in the last 7 years of trading. And pick your stocks, pick your favorites, pick maybe a maximum of 3 to 5 stocks. If you're interested in trading all of those, I don't think there's a need to pick all of those. But if you must, 3 to 5 stocks, learn the crap out of each and every one of those stocks and learn how they move, learn everything about it. Because I'm telling you, it almost becomes like voodoo science. Like when I describe trading the SPY, you almost are in tune with the SPY, where you your feelings about where it's going and stuff, and that doesn't make sense when you're talking about trading, because talking about feelings and talking about gut feelings and hunches, um those aren't good terms when you talk about trading. But when one ETF, one stock, and you're in tune with that stock, it's almost like you're wired into the price action, and you know it so well that literally, like I said, a NASCAR driver, Formula One driver, they know each course that they drive on, whether it's at Monte Carlo, in Monaco, or whether it's in Indianapolis. They know the course that they drive, so they know when to brake, when to accelerate, the slippery turns where to kind of slow down and be cautious. They know every inch of that course, where it's almost like they could drive it blindfolded. And that's what I've managed to do with the SPY, where, yes, I'm not saying I'm right 100% of the time, but if I'm wrong, I'm patient. I wait. I wait for the trade, and especially, like, if you know how to manage your risk, if you're not sure about the trade you're going in, simply pick an expiration date that's further out, because that gives you room to breathe. I sit back. People are like, "Oh, Bats, your trade is going off. You're losing money." All I do is I sit back and I watch, because I'm already right 85 to 90% of the time. Why should I worry about one trade that appears to be going wrong for me? So you sit back, you don't panic to where you're just selling because it hit your stop loss. You've gotta know your stock, guys. You've gotta know. And yeah, that's why traders fail, because they get into the stock of the day that's moving, don't have a clue about how that stock moves, and they think, oh, I can day trade it. Yeah, I would wager like Tim Sykes, Ross Cameron, all these guys. And Ross Cameron has talked about this, where if he's not familiar with that stock, he won't get into it, even if it hits his scanners, he won't get into it. You have to know what you're trading.
I haven't heard anything about Tim Sykes or Ross in a long time. I mean, he brought me into stocks. That's all I remember. But that was when I used to trade penny stocks many moons ago. I mean, he was a solid teacher. I guess the biggest thing is finding your strategy and what makes you profitable and sticking to it and managing your risk. To see what options, I never really spend 5,000 make 1,000. It's usually the opposite for me. Different strategy.
I was in his room for like 2 months, and his notes were pretty good, bro. Like right on spot. Yeah, I seen stock god hates on them. I don't know why, but I that's everybody's opinion. I respect everybody's opinion.
Oh, you talking about Ross?
No, I'm talking about awesome calls.
Oh, AJ.
Yeah,
I like AJ's room. Not so I don't follow so much of AJ, but I like Beth. Beth is an awesome options player.
yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, that's my girl. Beth.
Yeah.
She's a beast. Like I've had one-on-one conversations with her, and I'm like, Beth, what do you mean by small? And I'm like, you mean 10 contracts? And she's like, no. She's like, small is 100 for me, but if 10 is small for you, then honey, yeah, you go 10. I'm like, 100 is small? Yeah. Yes. It's small for her. Yes. But that's all for her. So she's a heavy hitter, but her calls are awesome, and her tactics and her risk management. Like she's I'll give her props.
What else?
She loves Apple.
That's how she trades. Basically.
Yeah, she loves Apple. UBXY is one of her favorite. That's her. She knows that stock. She's trade Tesla. She's on usually Fridays because she calls them Cheapy Fridays. Um, Netflix. She had a couple of winners of Netflix this week. I heard. But yeah, Beth is an awesome trader.
Wow, 100 contracts.
That's small of her. That's small.
Oh my god!
And she doesn't
So
go for 10 or 20%. She goes for 100%.
what?
Yeah, I would.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, she swings some, but yes, but mainly the dailies,
Oh, that's a whole
especially
nother level.
Friday.
That's a whole nother
Apple, she'd be
level.
like, we're at 50% mark, take 50%.
You know
I
what?
was just in that room for the view.
100 contracts. You're looking at $10,000 minimum getting into stuff like that.
Yeah, she's a beast. And I'm happy with my 10 contracts. I'm like, what?
10 is good. I think I'm at 50 right now. So
Yep.
I'm half of it.
You
Half of
trade a little bit different than I do because you like, I wouldn't. I'm actually the opposite of what you do. Like, you spend 5,000 and you're hoping to get 100%, or you're hoping to get the 10% that you're talking.
No, anywhere between 10 and 30%.
See, I do the opposite. I'll spend like $300 and go for 100 to 200 to 300 to 700%. Yeah,
Wow.
and it's not
Okay.
it's not hard with like Tesla. Tesla, it does it every day so far.
I wish I could trade Tesla, but I can't, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit different, but yeah, I get what you mean by the SPY.
Wow.
It's your niche. You found what works for you.
Maybe I should just get a divorce or kill the wife, right?
You know, ATL was talking about the SPY. When he first started, he said that's all he would trade is the SPY.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was with him in my chat room like this past week where he was coming in with same day expirations. I'm looking to short the SPY, and he made some money. All he wanted is like, I need to make money for gas, and he came in with same day expirations and made his, quick $100 to $300 on a quick trade. So, the SPY, love the SPY. The SPY is the SPY is like the girlfriend I never had.
I just seen that guy Levi. He turned 5K into 25,000 in like 4 weeks in option.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Possible.
To make 25,000 with the $5,000.
Yeah, with options, that's easy. Yeah, I don't
You
want to
could
say
do you could do that in
it
one
could be
trade.
done.
It could be done in one trade.
Yeah, definitely.
Same day expiration that goes in your favor and jumps, $1, $2. Yeah, you could the trade that I made 100% on in a month ago. If I'd actually caught the top and the bottom with the 1,400 I went into the trade, that would have been $20,000 in one trade.
To date, my biggest option swing was in Baba, and it was an overnighter. And I had 10 contracts. I think I spent under $1,000, but it gapped up like $15, and that was
Wow.
almost $17,000.
You actually made that? Did you cash out?
No, I kept playing. What do you mean did I cash out?
What? Well, but you made $17,000, right?
Yeah, that was just that one trade on Baba.
Did you post it? Are you on Twitter? How come I didn't see you
No,
talking
I
about
don't. I don't post that. I don't post my games on Twitter. I was in the room though.
What? So you just like to keep people hanging? You just you're like the true scientist. You well, even scientists when they publish their results, they're braggadocious about those. But say, you made 17 grand from an overnight trade. That's something that you
Yeah,
should
and actually,
post.
I was new to options then. I mean, I've made a different amounts since then, but yeah, I was actually on the line with Mondo, chilling them when I did it.
Oh,
My buddy made 17,000 with $300 this week on the earnings play.
wow, wow.
That's what I said. I'm opposite to you. Like I play with smaller amounts, but I go for bigger gains.
I see. But how long does it take you to make those gains?
It depends. Earning plays are pretty easy. Netflix has been great.
Okay, so get this. So you're basically guessing, right? Because if you if you get in the night before earnings or the day of earnings before earnings are released, and you say, I have a good sense that these guys are gonna beat earnings. Let me buy calls out of the money calls right now. That's
No,
pretty much what you're doing, right?
no, I can actually buy in the money calls and also buy puts at the same time. You could strangle or straddle.
Yeah, you're doing advanced options trading. Fantastic. Okay, okay,
So either
okay.
way, you're gonna win something.
Okay, so if you had advice for me, like obviously my stuff's working out for me, but
Don't
if I
change
wanted
what
to,
you're doing if it works for you. The best thing a trader can do is find what works for you and keep doing it.
okay, but if you had advice for me or um like extra tips that you could give me for your style of trading, what would it be?
Well, I mean, like you said, your other trade, me personally, if I was you, I would buy a little bit further out. Meaning,
Okay.
like you'll buy like 1 week extra and it works for you now. But if the market's to change, you might need a little more time for your trades to work out. So you might want to buy a little bit further out.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So you're playing earnings. Do you play dividends as well?
No, no. I was listening to you talk about dividends. I might
Yeah.
look into that. I mean,
Oh, dividends is good. Dividends, the ex-dividend date, the stock price will always drop. So all you need to do is buy puts the day before and watch the price drop $1 or $2, depending on what the stock is, and you just look for any stock on its ex-dividend date and trade the day before. I mean that is the most simple trading strategy that I could ever like suggest to anyone.
yeah, like I said, I like listening to you talk and looking at the way that you analyze things and what's working for you. Because what I'll do is I'll follow you. Now, I mean, now that I know what you're doing,